Oh, sick, mate. Sick. Tom Lowe, Lowy, brother. So good to have you on the pod, mate. Long time admirer. Ever since, yeah, I really learned about what you and Mick and Fergal were doing. I think that was in the fucking late noughties when I think I was up there in 2011.
You're
Uh,
old.
Stayed with Mick and Fergal for a bit. And obviously, you guys were kind of the toast of the surfing world at that point. Felt like you guys were just the first guys to really surf those waves at a world class level.
Know about that. I mean, at that time, to be honest with you, I was just thrown in the deep end and loved it. So I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just fed off the energy and loved every bit of it. Yeah. So I don't. Yeah, we were in our own little bubble there. We weren't even. I feel like we weren't even sort of aware of what was going on. We were just immersed in it. So yeah, when you look back now, I mean, I feel old when you're talking about it. I'm 42 now. It's pretty trippy, like to think that that's like a yeah. It's just I know everybody in can relate to their sort of chapters in life. It almost feels like for a part of your life you're doing one thing and then another part, and it's definitely for me being chopped up in so many different lifetimes in one. It's been a radical journey, and when you bring it up, I don't really think about it much, but yeah, there's a lot that went on then, and it's powerful stuff for sure. And yeah, I was just lucky. I just feel very lucky to have been in the right place, kind of at the right time with the right people, all gravitating towards the right place and all that sort of stuff. The university all went sing, and then there we were, and I was just like, not even thinking, just doing.
Man, it was crazy being from Australia and seeing that kind of surfing go down and this like these kind of three musketeers. Like, for Australians it's trippy seeing Irish surfing and English surfing go to that level because, we're so similar culturally and it
Mm,
feels like our cousins in the north, like we speak the same language, our cultures are very similar. And then to see these three guys like striking out on the absolute frontier of waves we'd never seen before, and surfing them at a world class level. And we'd never even heard of you guys before. And so, like, it
mm.
hit so hard down here. I really feel
Yeah,
like, yeah, it kind of blew a lot of minds at the time, I thought.
yeah. I reckon that out of like most of the places in the world, the Australians were the more onto it too. Like they were coming over. You know what I mean? Like Walshy and Paul Morgan and you know Brett Bircher, and there was some just dudes just turning up. And I mean, we had Twiggy and Greg Long, and we had a few others I'm probably forgetting, but come through. And I mean, the bodyboarders were the more keen out of everyone. Do you know what I mean? Ben Player and like, all sorts of people. Like, um, yeah, I mean, they were just like the guys that really pushed the level at the beginning was the Boogers, because when I first turned up, it was like Ryan Mattick and, Corpsey. We call it, well, he's not Corpsey anymore. What do they call him now? Tom Robinson. He now takes amazing photos, but I can't even remember his new nickname. What do they call him? Oh, they call him what is it? Lobby. Yeah, Lobster Cook's
Oh,
his name.
yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah.
absolute like legend of all legends, and he was in his prime then. He was like Mike Stewart's little like protege in a way, but like even though he was already a beast of his own, his style master on the boog and just sending it on anything, but in a elegant, beautiful way. And I was just going on waves quarter of the size and flying out the lip and just blown away by what was going on really. And that was inspiring for us. And that was right at the beginning. So they were kind of there on that trip, the bodyboarders. And then, yeah, like I said, the surfers from Australia really just was like, oh, sweet, because they just loved getting amongst the slabs. And, they'd all been doing it for so long and we hadn't. And they turned up and like Walshy and stuff like that. And Morgs were sort of coming back every season then. And it was really inspiring for me and Ferg because yeah, we didn't really know what to do with the rope and the ski and things like that. So they were showing us what's going on.
Yeah, it definitely helps having those guys to show the ropes. There's definitely a similarity between that Lahinch zone and Ulladulla, where those guys are from. Like they remind me a lot of each other.
Yeah,
And those guys, Birch and Morgs, are really close with the bodyboarding fraternity in that part of the world.
yeah,
So makes sense that, yeah. the trajectory of Irish surfing really imitated that of Australian surfing around about the same
Mm.
time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do think yes, way steps ahead. The Aussie, they've been going beasts like Kirby Brown and those guys. You know what I mean? The West Oz dudes, and we've been going over there actually, and you know, yeah, checking the zones out down the south and things, and before and during that Irish period. But yeah, like I said, those guys were so far above, what we were doing. They were pros and they were in their prime, and it was just sick to witness and feed off that energy. But yeah, they would come over, and I think they were the guys that clocked onto it more out of anyone else. Like it. I think it just suits the style of surfing too, like that, like you say, around Ulladulla and obviously West Oz and other places in Oz, but like those two spots in particular, like South Oz and that, like they're not just high performance rippers or whatever, and they know how to slab surf, and they've all got like mates who have got skis, and they was checking out zones and like the Bra Boys and all that lot. They were all just already in their in full swing. So we were seeing that go on. But to be honest, again, like we'd feed when they were in town and things, but and we buzz on it. But I can't stress, but like such a different background and mindset, like I'm from as well. I mean, Fergal was very focused. Um, he was very driven and focused and quite regimented in a lot of ways. Like, and I wasn't. I was more just following gut and just raw, and it was just on, and then I would go and have like 10 pints of Guinness and whatever else that night, you know what I mean? And I go in and I just have it. And that was, but I wasn't like full pisser, but I was just getting amongst it. I was just in the moment guy, right? I wasn't like, oh, I want to be a pro or anything else like that. It wasn't a plan. It was, yeah, it just fell into place because I was just on a trip and then I just kept going back basically. I fell in love with it straight away. And like it was Mickey Smith that just like, mate, you just, because I kept wanting to go back to St. Ives and, you know, yeah, just have fun and do whatever and go travel. And I wasn't like, had a long plan, like I say, or thinking that I could be pro or something like that. It wasn't part of my game plan. I was just like, oh, get a trade under my belt and, and I was lifeguarding at the time and I just didn't have any money, so I was just doing that one and then just, yeah, going out and doing what most teenagers and people in their 20s do. Like, and then Mickey's just pulled us up, like I say, he's just had a few shots on the laptop, and I go, shit, he's like, that's you, man, like, fucking hell, I was blown away, I couldn't believe it, he was the one that got it all, together, going the ball really with sponsorship and a bit of sort of vision in a sense or confidence in me and all that sort of stuff. So he just sent a bunch of shots and put me a website and did all that stuff to the sponsors, to Rip Curl and Vans, and that got it going. And then I was like able to go to West Oz, able to go to like Porto and Hawaii and all these places. I'd see footage. I remember sitting in the lifeguard out seeing footage of like these waves, and my mates would be like, "Ah, you fucking yeah, but you wouldn't do that one." You know what I mean? You wouldn't. Yeah, I'd be like, I don't know. I mean, you have to be there, don't you? And I was thinking, I fucking would. Like inside, I was like, I know that. Well, the problem is, if I'm there, I end up just going. Like, there's no like. It hasn't until this last chapter that I've just been on an island. There's never been a doubt that I won't paddle out and probably just sit in the lineup and probably do something. I don't usually sit around and do nothing. Like, so I was like, yeah, we'll check it out. I guess it
Mate,
happened in the end. But
it did happen in the end. You went to all those spots and you've immortalized yourself as pretty much the best surfer to ever come out of the UK in my mind, and like got to be like top three or four out of Europe, I reckon. Like just you've
oh,
ticked every box at every wave of consequence on Earth. You've had big wave nominations for huge pits, huge drops at Mavs, that crazy backside pit at Jaws, like what you've achieved, man.
I
Considering, you
appreciate
were a
that.
lifeguard and a fucking laborer and
That's what
pisshead.
I mean.
It's
Yeah,
iconic.
I knew you were going to come in on the piss on that. I knew you were frothing on it, but no, I'm not a pisser. I'm just again
What?
like
Yeah,
all of us. Come on,
that's way in the rearview mirror
come
now.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I wasn't alcoholic. No, no. You know what? Yeah, it's pretty trippy. I mean, I am pinching myself. The fact that I'm even in New Zealand and I'm sitting in my own house that we bought like a couple months ago. Again, like all of
Wow.
this is a bloody dream, you know. I've got two amazing daughters that are just healthy and great. They're amazing, like, and an amazing wife, and you know what I mean. And yeah, I mean, I always knew that I'd never end up living in town in St Ives and in Cornwall and that. Even though I love it, I love Cornwall, you know, I do. But I just knew that I'd be a million miles away for some reason. I'd meet, yeah, a different person, and that would be me. But whether or not I manifested it, I don't know. But yeah, it's pretty amazing. I feel pretty stoked.
Oh, it's amazing, mate. And you're still doing it. That's the craziest thing about it. Like, Fergal, to his credit, like he's a guy who is, of humble ambition, and I really admire that about him. Like, not humble in the surf, but
Mm,
he wanted to fucking grow cabbage and potatoes and surf his local spots and have a family. And I really respected that. And you're sounds like you're in that kind of chapter of your life now, but. In
yeah,
the last few years, man, has been, well, it's been a roller coaster, but the fucking last couple of little chapters at Mullaghmore is mind-blowing shit, man. It's like for sure, like one of the most iconic comebacks of all time. It's crazy.
I do appreciate you, and thanks for the shout out the other day, lad. You know what I mean? And I like, I can't. I was trying to talk to like Nate Florence gave us a bell a few days ago, and I was trying to talk to him about it, and I just don't have words to just really, you know what I mean? You're trying to talk about how it feeling, what was it like? There's so much, and I mean, it's been a couple of months now. I haven't. I don't even think I've really processed all of that. It's still pretty fresh. You know what I mean? And yeah, it was the most powerful experience of my life just now. Like without a doubt, it's literally been that. I've had these huge, like, shocking kind of. Usually, it's injuries that paradigm shift the sort of stop you in your tracks, reset button, and all the rest of it, and then it's growth time in some sort of way, and it changes your whole um, I guess, path forward in the past. But this one's just, it's just beautiful, mate. It's just amazing. I didn't, I was, yeah, I was trying to say, like, it felt like it wasn't me that did it. It was sort of like it was a proper, you know, the words don't sound right. Like just then I was going to say like out of body experience. It sounds crap. You know, I'm just like, nah, it wasn't that. It's just like, yeah, like, well, how am I going to explain to you what it is? It's just so it was like I wasn't even I had lots of pressure and lots of weight on me from all of the trauma probably and all of the fear and all of the stuff going back in the water, and that was just it was building. I had to just do it quite soon because it was just going to get worse the longer I left it without going back in the heavy water. I knew that I was going to be just making it hard for myself in a sense, or I just wanted to find out whether I do just love it, you know, because I've never not done it because I love it. I've never felt pressure from like a sponsor or anything like that ever. Like Vans don't give me anything like that. They just do your thing, brother. I love you. You know what I mean? Just that kind of vibe. And it's just I've always been on that, and there's never been somebody putting anything on me, and that's just been yeah incredible. Like because I don't think I'd suit that. I don't enjoy kind of like yeah, and I don't do surf contests or anything like that. So it's just like yeah, like that. I don't roll like that. So yeah, I needed to find out whether I'm still that person or who I really am. You know what I mean? Because it was a proper proper like who am I? I was in desperation, mate. I was fucking dark as you get. Like you know, I mean, I wasn't dark as you. I know I've had mates. You know what I mean? We've all had mates. It gets darker. I'm not trying to paint that one, but it was as tough as I've found it to know yeah. What do we do now? Like you know, like you said on your past podcast, you're like, what's he fucking doing again? Going after it again? You know? And I was saying the same thing, mate. It's like you know, you got a family. You're 42. Like you know, start up something fresh, don't you? Start up your little thing, and that's what people do, right? But I don't know, man. Something I knew I didn't know, but I'd meditated on it and I thought about it, and I'd been out in the winters and running in the rain at 5 in the morning and asking the question, putting out there, okay, you know, I felt like I'd already ridden those big rides already. It was weird. I was like, oh yeah, yeah, I know this feeling. This is what we've done. We've done this one before. It's the same pattern, and we are going to go and do it again. And you tell yourself, but you still don't know until you actually paddle out and you're there in front of it. And you know, I hate bloody watching any of those waves when they're going off. I just want to get in my suit and get out there, and then I feel calm or calmer. I hate just standing at the cliff and, whether it's at Jaws or Mavs and you're waiting to paddle out or Mullaghmore, it's just like, oh God, let's just get in there, settle the nerves down, get one under your belt, and then it'll all be all right. And yeah, like that whole month it kind of built up to that moment where I caught that wave. And none of it really makes sense. Like as far as I didn't have that, oh, I'm gonna put it all on the line today, and I'm really ready. And I've been in that state many a time. It was more of a, okay, well, oh, I've already started putting my suit on. I've not really even watched it for long. I'm already winding down the hill. Like we're going out there, and then I'm just like saw Conor Maguire on that thing, it's like first light. And so you're paddling out with your 9.8, you know what I mean? Okay, my 9.8, yeah. What are we gonna do here with this? Like, look at that. Like, what is that thing? And I'm like, there's an entry. Like, I don't know. Like, all right, well, we'll just sit on the channel for a minute. That was amazing. Like, yes, Connor, you legend. Stoked for him. You know what I mean? Then I'm like, but you got to kind of now it's time to get in amongst it. And I just got to where I go to and I'm paddling up. And as I'm in it, like I say, it's not like I'm conscious. It's sort of like even that wave. I didn't even think I was even going to catch a wave, mate. Like you saw what was going on with the skis. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what was that? I don't know because we've never seen that there. Like the boys are legendary. They're all my mates. Connor and Von Rupp comes over, sweet as the boys. Everyone's waiting for the tow bomb. They go the tow bomb. If they see me having a look or whoever, they're gonna just pull off because these guys are vets. You know, what I mean, they've been doing it for years. It's just mad. It was just one of them ones where there's lots of crew kind of just getting really excited, I think. And again, they're lovely people. It's not personal, but I was just thinking, I ain't going to catch a wave because this is crazy. There's no clean water. There's no clean water. I can't see a clean wave. It's just,
because
and
of
on
all
the
the wake.
inside, yeah. And you look back and
Oh,
it's just ski. And it's not, yeah, there was no individual. I didn't get upset. That's the thing. I'm not trying to say I was upset. I'm not. I wasn't. I was just, okay, it's not the day. I'm in a like my own little dream world of like, yeah, I mean, it's so scary. It's all good if I don't catch, because it's fucking nuts and there's wake and it doesn't feel right. And then, yeah, when that wave came sort of through, I guess it's just it always kind of happens like that when you get those kinds of, well, a ride like special one, that gives you that feeling. It's just different. There's not the force. It's not like a forcing thing or anything like that. It's just, you just start moving. Oh, fucking here we go. And you're down it and you're in it. And I mean, once I was in it, I mean, I enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean, mate? Like the only thing was that chop was like, I thought I was going to face plant, like, three-quarters of the way down. That was freaky as fuck. And once I got that one out of the way, that was the only weird part where I was on. And then I was just like that. I just started smiling with the biggest cheesy grin the whole ride. I've never done that, I don't think, apart from like a 3 foot little head dip. I was just going like this. And I just pulled off like that. And everyone was just like, fucking, I don't know what everybody thought. But then I just lay back in the water. I just smiled my face off and just looked up at the sky for ages. I was just bobbing around like it was mental, mate. Like
so,
mental.
so that bit of chop was that ski wake that you had to negotiate on the way down?
I don't think it was, but it could have been. I mean, I think it was a rib from the reef because it was big low tide and
Yeah, it looked low.
boils popping off like they pop like ribs up it.
Yeah.
When the boils erupt as it draws back, which they do, it's coming. You just don't. They're going to come. You just don't know where. Usually happens at sort of at the end where it hits that deep water part, and then you kind of you're all right if you kind of get hammered in there ish. But when you get hold down and things, and you don't want to hit your board, which I did last year, where I broke my rib, and I didn't even tell anyone about that one because I didn't want to be that guy again. It's me again. A post. I'm fucking dying again. But I was like, fuck, I can't talk about this shit. But I flew home like back after, a good stint there, like nearly 2 months. And well, I had an amazing trip last year. Anyway, I won't go into it too much, but through the bowl area where it hits the boils in that part, I just basically disconnected with my board and then, 9.3 just hit me in the ribs and just broke my bottom rib and then I got sucked over and just a bit of a beating. And the wave before mine, that was where Noah Lane broke his pelvis and cracked his head open. So both of us were fucking in there like that. But I was good. I was like, I'm all right, but I know I've broke my rib because I can know the feeling by now because it's happened a few times. But um, Noah wasn't. Obviously, Noah was in a different deal, so it prioritized Noah, and I made my way into the rocks. Connor gave us a lift in after I'd been smoked all the way in anyway. But Connor was like, "You're grand," and I was like, "I'm grand," But anyway, that bowl part is usually pretty forgiving on in that sense when you get to that very end. But that first part is psycho. The ledge isn't as bad, the takeoff ledge, but that just in the middle there, obviously that's the hollowest part usually. It's not where it throws out and flares at the end. It's which the shots look mental. You might be like, but that's the big barrel section. Now they're kind of like they flare at the end, but where it hits the deep water. But that middle part of the reef is just psycho. Do you know what I mean? That's where it gets the juice because it just can cap you or it can go off the edge, off the takeoff. But usually you get that cap where we're tracking in. That's where we're getting into them to paddle entry, and then it goes woof. And then if you fall in there, it's just nasty because you're
Mm.
just eating another one or two on the edge, and it's just violent. It's a really heavy wave for sure in that middle bit.
Yeah, the tide looked low. Like that one that you got capped like way off the back corner of the reef. And
Yeah,
it seemed like in my memory anyway, my memory's not the best, but there was like yeah, I'm not used to seeing them kind of crumble that far out. And the line on it
yeah, I
must have
guess
been
so.
fuck. I mean, I don't know, I might be tripping. Is
No,
that how it
no, I
seemed to
think
you?
you're right. Well, I don't even know. That's what I mean. You're telling me, I'm
Mm,
like, did it? Yeah. But I mean, it was that reef can handle any size, right? But yeah, like you said, it was. I mean, Robbie, was on the inside, and he thought, and Ned as well, and they were sort of bobbing around right on the inside, just trying to pick off smaller ones or whatever. And I thought, like I said, I wasn't really going to catch much because it was just not looking user friendly with all the skis. I couldn't concentrate on the waves. I was watching the skis rather than the actual waves, and it was just hard to tune in. But I was quite happy to be out there. That's the weird thing. And so when that came in, yeah, Robbie said too. He said, "I thought you were just chilling out there, thinking like," and I was like, "I kind of was, but there was Von Rupp's one too, which I was going to look at, which had an entry too. At the start of it, if you look at, is there's that crumble and it goes wolf. I mean, it would
mm.
have been. I think I don't know how the old 9.8 would have handled that thing. That was a monster slab. It was so sick. But to get through that would have been, yeah. I mean, that's what I'm talking. There's a way in. It's mad. I don't even know how to compute it, but there's a way in. Like it's nuts.
Mate, the way you handle a board of that size, like what is it, a 9.8 or a 9.6?
That was a 9.8. Yeah, that
Fuck,
one.
mate. Like, you're so deep on the reef and you get the entry, and then like the freeze frames of you just fully extended and pumping
Oh
a
God.
fucking 9.8 through it. Like, I don't know how
I
big
don't
you
know
call on
about
that
pump.
tube, but
I
it's
ain't pumping,
wild.
mate. I'm just poo stancing. I ain't pumping. I'm just like, as Mickey would call it, the Ram Man stance. That's from the Riley's days, like towing into the slabs there and that. Or sometimes I get one at Aileen's or whatever. We just lock it down, mate. You're just hanging on for dear life. You're not like, I mean, you're hanging on. You're basically just committed. There's no like, it's just like on, you're making it like that's the mission, right? You're looking at the feet, you're looking at the boils, you're just locked in. It's not, yeah, it's I've fucked up so many of them because I've been on a 9.8 that was this thick. Or a 9.6. I have. I put my hand in the air. The amount of times I've got a lovely 12 footer and I'm just on this silly big ball going, oh, this ain't working. It don't work. And I'm just like copping the worst beatings because of it. But then when you jump it up to double the size, my mindset was always, well, as soon as it's double the size, then it's all relevant because then the board does fit in. Because if we can fit like an 8.6 into or an 8.0 into a 10 to 12 foot pit and it rides through them, it's still a challenge because it's still a big bit of kit with the boils, but you can do it, then double that size. It should be sweet, and more often than not, I mean, take Nathan Fletcher for instance. He's a big inspiration for me, and he rides these big ass boards and just handles them like a beast, and what I mean, like even like Bruce Irons when he borrowed his board, you know what I mean? At Cloudy, like they get in, you just got to get into it. Once you get into them, at least you're into them and you're in there. Like my mindset, worst when you just don't feel confident, you can't get near things. Then you've got people like Albie, which yeah, I don't even understand, and like obviously like Tori and Kai and all them boys riding like the I don't know, this in the 8 range at Jaws when these giant 20, 25 foot waves come through. I mean, this is a they're comfortable in that realm, and that's not my realm. I like my realm. I know what it is, and I don't compare myself. Even Nate Florence, he'll be out at the outer reefs and stuff, and I'm on the 10.6 or whatever it is, and he's on his 9.6 or 8, whatever. Same in Porto, and Ivan, like they're on like 8.0s and stuff, and I'm on like the 10.0. I just like big boards, and I mean, you know, I also like yeah, when it's suitable, like I'll ride a smaller board, but in smaller wet slabs, but not. I don't know when it gets big. I just like to catch the wave. I hate missing the wave. I tend to miss them when I'm on a smaller board
Oh,
usually.
mate. It's unbelievable, the ability to wrangle those things through high performance technical tube rides. Like boards north of 9 foot and 10 foot. It's fully mind-boggling. To any surfer of like moderate ability, it's actually unimaginable. Like those, there's just so much volume in those things, and the
Yeah,
waves have so much consequence in them. But like this wave in particular, it was just so deeply cosmic. Like, with all that's
yeah,
going on in the background, all
that's the
those
cool.
questions, all that
That's
darkness,
yeah,
and then the day that comes around is the day of days. Like
yeah. What the heck? And
it
why am
couldn't
I
have been
there
more
at
of
the
an
end?
acid test. It was
Like
so fucking huge.
I know, like 6 and a plus half meters, whatever it is, at 20 odd seconds. That's like we're looking at swells of like 4 meters, and we're going, oh, there's going to be a couple of 20 footers. 6 meters, so it's just a no go zone. Like it's that thing, when yeah, I remember just like I remember being in Jaws last year, and it was just like, when Albie and me and Willem and we just like gave it a go, and then Steve Robinson and the lads and all the local some of the local lads are just Ty and that came out and just started going on things, and I was just going, ugh. But I didn't even catch a wave that day. I looked at a couple and was just like, this is different water, yeah, like and yeah, again, I came out of that like completely humbled, just like, oh, it rattled me for sure. And I remember sending like, Albie messages of Connor towing in on that like hugest wave ever during COVID, back in COVID, and being like, Albie's like, yeah, there's an entry there, maybe. I'm thinking there isn't, but yeah, I mean, we got to look at it. I sent it to him going, yeah, I mean, this is the sort of realm that Jaws sort of conditions were, but this is what this wave does in that size, and just comparing the two and trying to channel that fucking I don't know, just rattling, fired up dude that didn't get any waves on the best day ever or the biggest day ever and stuff into my calling and my zone and the wave that I've dedicated a lot of my life to, Mullaghmore, and yeah, the fact that I don't know that I'm not trying to say that that day was as big as that day. It wasn't actually. I think Connor's wave, what he got in COVID, was a damn sight bigger, and that ocean was a damn sight angrier. And playing around in that ocean back in that COVID swell would be silly behaviour, in my opinion. The water was moving different. There was wind was a really different direction, and it was a lot of it was a different deal. But again, you don't know until you're there. But that's what I gauged from talking to the lads and seeing the footage from that day. This one was so windy, though. It had the jaws windy, when it does the board flying in the air thing. Like I got into one earlier on, the lads said that was a fucking sick one. I was like, fuck, because I was I was like down it. And then I just went up it, and did like the backflip thing off the back and floater thing. And I was just like, oh, if I was really committed and got down, I reckon I could have shuffled forward on the board and like really gone down it. But I was a bit timid because it was my first look, and but it was a nice one. Like it was a really really good wave. But yeah, it was windy. It was challenging, but it was it's amazing how it all came together, and still in disbelief really in a lot of ways. Just that I I was trying before this podcast. I was trying to think, what do I even want to talk about, and what do I do? I was looking at the footage. I was like looking at my Instagram post to try and get like a vibe off it. Like, will that give me a feeling of something? I'm just like, I don't know if is that me? I don't know. I can't remember. Like, I'm so immersed in the world that I'm here now. It's
Mm.
like I live in two worlds. Like, I come back to New Zealand and I'm here with you know the kids, and I'm on dad duty, and Tess will be working a lot, and she's a clinical psychologist, and she's got a proper job in that way, like uh, yeah, and so I lock into this side, and I'm switching that brain off, and we're just trying to get a quick training or a quick surfing in the morning, and data mode and things, and then it's like, holy moly, we're on again. If Jaws pops off, which is bound to probably in February or something, I'm just going to be like, here we go, like, and yeah, see, ask that question, be real about it. Like, do you want it? Like, why do you want it? And things like that. And then we give it a go, take it from there. But it's, yeah, it's pretty unreal that, I don't know. She gifted me. I feel like it was just a gift, mate. You know what I mean? The motherland. She speaks. Yeah. I always knew though too, like it would be. There's going to be a time when I go there. That's going to be the truth sayer as such. When I go there, and I'm like, oh, you're not really. Yeah, you don't really feel it. You don't want to do it, and you're not going to jump off the rocks. Because I like to jump off the rocks and paddle out and paddle in. Because and I have the lads on safety. I'm not playing around. On only on the big days and that. But um, yeah, at some stage I won't be physically able to do that, and that would be my indicator that, hey, like, you got a hand in the towel now, and sort of maybe cruise a little bit if you
Mm.
can.
And get in the way of your life, essentially, at 42. It's put you into that bracket now with like your Twiggies, your Pete Mells, your Dorians, your
Really?
Slaters, even.
Are you kidding me?
You gotta be.
Are you
Like,
being serious? Are you just a frother though? I reckon you're just
nah,
frothing
what do you
out on me,
mean?
mate.
Like, think about, well, the reason I
I
say
still
that,
don't even I still don't even believe anything. I'm just like, shoot myself down, I swear.
mate,
I'm like, hearing you say that, I'm just like, well, I'll tell you to
you
shut
have
the
to
fuck
be
up.
because, like, that's a
I'm not
fucking,
coming on
like,
here for that. You can think it, but I don't want to hear it. You
well,
can tell someone
I'm
else.
gonna put my case forward anyway because
All right, go on then.
the case is this: it's that like all you guys are getting the waves of your life north of 40, and I like which is in the big wave game, it makes sense when you look at the way like the male body and the male mind evolves over time. It's like, yeah, you lose a bit of reflexes as you go
Yeah,
north of 35, but your
yeah,
emotional maturity goes up. And so in the big wave game, if you're positioning and your understanding of the ocean and your ability to regulate yourself and stay calm in those situations, if all that is going north, it
mm,
doesn't really matter that your reflexes are going slightly down because it outweighs it. And so you see
yeah,
guys like yourself and Twiggy and Mel and whoever else like getting these fucking waves of a lifetime in their
yeah, right.
40s and their 50s, and they're setting new standards for like what's possible in like the ultimate wave of consequence, the fucking like 30-foot pit,
Yeah,
the paddle,
yeah,
the 30-foot
trippy.
paddling tube, like, and that's happening.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that's crazy, man. It's rad. Like, it's sick. It's
yeah,
it's just testament to the fact that you've made the right choice to stick with it, and you're able to
yeah,
show us something
yeah,
new, man. At this age,
yeah,
it's
yeah. Like a
mad.
bit of fresh. Yeah, like that's how I felt. I felt like a bit of fresh. Like we needed that fresh energy. It's like it just gave me that belief that yeah, I'm doing what I'm meant to do, and like it's yeah, and even if anything like doesn't happen, you know what I mean? It doesn't from here on out. It's just like what a gift of like to be able to just yeah, I've had that experience. Like I mean, I'm lucky to be alive. I really am. Like I'm not one of them drama queens that's just gonna like I'm lucky to be alive and like feel sorry for me. It's like I've been through some real fucked up shit the last few years, and I can't believe that that's when it decides to give it to me. Like, what I mean? You're going in fit as like you say, you're 30 odd, you're like I remember being at Nazaré those years and we lived down in Ericeira down there and I was there for about 8 years and I cruised up. I managed to get Nick to come up with me, give him a 9.6, come on, let's fucking go. And But now look at him, he loves it. He's just all over it. But it was that was when I was just amped and I was just coming in with like, yeah, that charged up energy. It's a That's why too, though, I feel like, with like, I guess, manifestation, like law of attraction style stuff, and just where you put your energy, it's like all those, even after my last accident and I'm rehabbing style and I'm sort of getting back into surfing and I'm here in Raglan, I'm surfing the point. It's like there's no one around, just me and my mate who his missus left him down at the point there. If he hears this, he'll be pissing himself. And he was having a shock. He was in the depths. He was gutted. He's been with her for like 30 odd years. Fuck. And I'm like, perfect. I've got my tragic mate, and me and him can be tragic all winter together. And I'm down in his car park like that, fucking 6. It's not like till like 8 doing burpees. I'm like, let's go. I'm pumped. And he's like, shit, Tommy. It's like, like onshore, like it's horrendous. It's about 8 foot, and I don't even want to look out the window. And anyway, then he's like, yeah, let's do it. And then we feed it back and forth, and yeah, we just those count. They add up. They add up and add up, and they do. And like those days down at Porthmeor, my local, where I'm in there and I'm like doing my tragic surf for whatever reason, and they add up to the point if you stay dedicated or and just put the energy out there. Like you've got to yeah, you got to feel it and put the energy out there. That's all it is. And I mean, and then there's nature, and nature's nature, and you can't control nature, and there's that part too. And this is the part that makes it beautiful when it does work out, but it can easily not work out, and we're right on the edge all the time. And a lot of people would say, "Oh, why are you going back to Tahiti? And are you, would you ever go back there?" And it's just like, yeah, but I mean, I'm driving around. There's stuff happening, there's accidents. There's, the other day, on the East Coast, they had a terrible landslide. It was tragic, man, and that could be like, my missus' sister was, with the kids were going to head over there 20 minutes before they turned around because of the traffic. They were going to be in the hot pools. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it makes you just put things into perspective again, realize, yeah, that it's worth, I think it's worth doing something that you feel something for. So yeah, basically it gives you something like something to drive towards some sort of goal, or you need something to get you up in the morning, and whether it's the kids or whatever it might be, and you can put your energy into them. It's you need it, and like for me, that's where I put most of my energy is into the kids. But I've fed so much into Mullaghmore and Ireland in general that it was always going to be, yeah, it's just my special kind of spiritual land of such. And it was, I guess, that amount of energy came back to me, and the karmic energy came back to me, and that's kind of what it was. I went and it went out there really, really vulnerable, really, really open, um, just scared and just to try it, and that's and then, with low expectations and such, just to go and see, and that's why it's quite fascinating to me how it did eventuate into that kind of ride and that kind of moment for me, because it you could say it doesn't make sense almost, apart from the fact that I put so many years in and all that energy. That's the only part I can put it down to. Besides that, it's like physically, mentally, it's not like I'm like, yeah, I'm a machine now. Like I'm really calm, and like I was so focused and I'm in that flow state, man. I'm more like, oh my God, like this is so, overwhelming. I can't believe yeah, I'm going to be in that kind of ocean again that could, you know, do what it did to me before, in Tahiti and things. And, because I've had situations at Mully, and I just told you about one at the start, didn't I? Broke my rib. The last surf I had there, I broke my rib. You know what I mean? I got fucked up. So it's like for some people that would be a traumatic injury. You know what I mean? That's just a little nudge, and then we're gonna go and fuck, really, boof, tofu and just black out and just get resuscitated. I mean, what was going on? And then you're gonna give me that kind of ride. It's amazing. But yeah, I do think that the energy I put into it in a pure way and that openness, that's why. And just The hardest part was driving to the airport from here. I always it was leaving the kids and the fam. That was the hard bit. I felt like once I got to Ireland, I felt calmer. I'm not trying to say I was just like, yeah, I'm in Zen mode. Nah, I was still like, you fucking hell, like this is so full on, and like the whole time I had to just do my little breathe and 20-minute Dave Wood from Auckland just hooked me up with some breath work stuff just to calm my nervous system down and recheck it back in 5 minutes all it take. I'll be doing that like throughout every day. And I drive you on the way to check the surf, mate, and I just break down in tears. I was, you know what I mean? I was vulnerable as fuck. I was just, oh, well, that was nice. I don't know what I shed off there. I don't know what that was about. Is anyone looking? Like I'm on the point, like shit. And then I'm like, okay, now we're gonna go charge. Are we okay? Cool you know, but it was a mess. Like,
Wow.
and it worked out. Like, why? I don't know. Apart from what I said, sort of, mate.
Mate, that's wild. You had so much trauma loaded up in your central nervous system from that wipeout in Tahiti, and there's just so much emotion that you're having to regulate, and you're doing all the right things. You're doing the breath work, you're doing the meditation, you're connecting to source, and the
Mm,
source is guiding you. And of course, you find this career defining wave at a wave that, you know, made you like you guys you have the best connection with that joint out of anyone on earth pretty much. It's yourself, it's Fergal, it's Mickey. Like it's just so perfect that like this place that gave you so much continues to
yeah,
give, and you've got such a special relationship with that joint. It all
so
came together in
special.
that wave, man. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's such a special place, isn't it? Ireland. It's so powerful. It's so raw. Like I feel like if any place, if you got some shit to deal with, it's a pretty good spot to go. Strip you. That's if you really want to face it. I mean, I thought I already had when I went there to a certain extent. Most of it, I thought I'd processed, and um, yeah, like it's just so fucking unreal, man. It's just unreal. Like now what? I don't know.
What was it like back in the early days with Mickey and Fergal? Like some of those missions you guys were doing, like like you said, like
Fucking
when you're up
hilarious.
there, people might not understand this if they haven't been there, but in the winter, like when the waves are good, the water's 6 degrees, you're wearing 5 mil of rubber. Like it's so hard to surf. Being an Australian and trying to deal with conditions like that, it's so foreign and so difficult and deeply unpleasant. But you guys have just normalized it. Like Fergal wouldn't even fucking dry his wetties out. They were frozen
Yeah,
stiff in the
he
morning.
loves it rough. Yeah,
Oh, mate.
yeah, yeah. Mickey's the same. No, I mean those two. I didn't hear them moan about the cold once.
Not once.
You know
They
what I
don't
mean?
even
Not once.
acknowledge it. They're just
No, no,
like,
they feed on that. That like they're buzzing on it. Like if it's frozen, the suits are frozen in the morning. And then you can't have suits in the side. Like I'm not even allowed to hang my suit inside. Like you know what I mean? Like nah, fucking stinks of piss and all this. I'm like fuck, and like things like that. And they just then they just pull out these missions, and you're just like, what we're gonna go out there like all three of us on one ski on a you know 30 to 50 foot ocean seas, like onshore, just to suss what it does when it's giant, you know. And there's no like phones and there's none gear with us. We don't have a sled, we don't have any money to buy a sled. We're just bobbing around. We're just scoping out, and we all fall out and we all do the clamp. Like we all fucking fly off. Yeah, we're just clamped on together under the water, laughing. Fucking the skis doing circles. We're like, if we lose a ski, we're gone forever, right? So we're not going along the coast. We're going out. And so it's like, yeah, there's so many of that, like, or whether it's getting back from Riley's and, just sliding, like losing the truck, like the relentless truck upside down in like a field, farmer's field, getting the tractors out. It's icy and everyone's doing this. There's so many of them days that like I can think of. Mickey might just send us a shot every once in a while of like some scenario that happened. I'm like, okay, I remember that one, when it was dark and it got too big, and we're heading way past up to the Burren, like way past the harbour at Doolin, just trying to find something in the dark to be able to get the ski in, and we've dropped Mick off or Ferg off or whatever, and he swam into the harbour where we originally launched, and it's tripled in size, and it's dark, and beep beep, we're running out of fuel, and it's just silly. And then we finally make it to like a spot, and then we got like hike, near hypothermic, in the dark to find the truck where Mickey thought we were getting to meet us, and you know what I mean. It never ends, and it's just like these scenarios are so they were so they're great though, you know, because they kind of like built yeah they just built character and the brotherhood, and also just that's how we learned. We just learned the hard kind of way. That's how we did it. We when we were towing in at Riley's and stuff like that. It was just you've never done it before that day. Do you know what I mean? On the day, so it was just 10 foot on, and I'm just like on my knees going along trying to get to my feet because I didn't know how to stand on the board and then kind of wakeboard up or whatever. I didn't know that thing, so I'd never been on a ski. So it was just like fuck, you know. And I'm folks like get up, Lowe, stand up, like in the waves jacking, and I'm behind the kink, and then I'm just letting go into the thing, or on my knees, just go over the falls at Riley. You know, like some of the wipeouts are so kooky, they're amazing. Like, and there's no footage, you know, there's no footage of, I'd say half of the sessions, like footage, video. It's all Mickey, you know, bobbing around, swimming on his own, just one image, you know. That's the image, the only image we ever see is Berg just in this thing, you know. And we remember that day, but yes, there's no social media thing, obviously. So it's just a different era of, and the way that Mick did it was, as sort of, you know, poetic and beautiful as you can, you know. And it's just that raw, boom, one moment thing. You don't ever see anything you just apart from that months later, you know, on the cover of Journal or something, you know. You're like, whoa, like, wow. And it had so much weight to it. Uh, and, you know, yeah, it would feel amazing when we sit down at his, you know, weeks, months, I don't know, sometimes years down the line, we pull something up and on the big screen in his dark room, and you go like, whoa, look at these images. And, you know, and then it would be someone like, you know, Hugo, like a dude from La Hinch, you know, or whoever it was who hardly surfed at that time or whatever. And suddenly, like, I'm whipping him in on the ski, and he's just got the cover of Carve Mag or whatever with this most heavy image ever. You know, they still, I've still got them logged, you know, or the bodyboard he's towing in. Used to tow in Mickey sometimes too, and he would just get mad ones with no pictures or footage, you know. So all sorts of stuff going on, all fun and all like part of why we do it, really. And, you know, still why I do it, you know, really, just because obviously love it. Wouldn't we keep doing it otherwise?
Mm, mm. Yeah, I think that's why you guys got so much respect down here because we understood that you guys were just going above and beyond. Like surfing those waves in those kinds of conditions in water that cold, it's pretty much unimaginable for most Australians, like even pro surfers and stuff. Like they can't really imagine surfing waves of that kind of consequence in 5 mil wetsuits. Like it's a massive disadvantage. And it blew me out when I was up there, seeing like when I was up there, there was the beginnings of like that real high performance Irish style of surfing. Like guys are doing air reverses and like super high performance turns and punts and tube riding
Mm.
in 5 mil of rubber in 6 degree water. It was properly mind blowing to see world class surfing coming out of that
Yeah,
region.
yeah, Russ loves it though, doesn't he?
Oh
Russ
yeah,
Jerky,
100%.
he's
I,
right at home.
I mean, people have learned to love it,
Yeah,
and Nate
but
Florence
back
and
then, yeah,
but back then, yeah, it was
yeah.
a really golden age of surf exploration. Like it just blew open a whole new zone and a whole new approach.
And we got
And
Mickey to thank for that, huh? You know,
yeah,
really, like we have. And I mean, you know, he's like all these waves, like Aileen's and Riley's, like they're wonders of the world. They really are. And anyone you take down there, they don't have to surf. They just go, wow, wow. I mean, it's nuts, man. You know, you should be, yeah, talking to Mick. Get him on here.
mate, I will. Don't worry. He's coming up in every second podcast at the moment, so I'll send him an email and
He'll probably just ghost everyone.
yeah, he's
Nah,
such a humble dude, but
he's actually making me. He's making an edit. We got a little something in the works actually.
epic. You're
It
kidding.
just I don't know what it. We don't know. Yeah, we're just like, what's your vision though? You know, and I'm like, mate, I'm just riding the waves and giving you what I got, and you can just vibe off it. You know, I don't know. It could be one of them. I mean, I talk enough. Listen to me. So I don't know what we're going to be talking in it, but or whether it's just action and some music of his. But whenever I feel like that Mordros, I don't know if you ever watched that from a handful of years ago when I had a ride that came second in the ride of the year. Um, it was, you know, at the time, best ride of my life. And yeah, he made a little piece about that. And don't know whether it's going to be sort of along those lines, where there was a bit of talking and stuff and the journey, or whether it's just going to be just Mickey and his music. I don't know. We'll see. But that's exciting. I'm excited
Mate.
about that.
Well, that was the other thing. Like Mickey's storytelling, his just eye for beauty and mood. He's like a world-class musician who's, played with Ben Howard at Glastonbury in front of 50,000
Yeah,
people or some shit. Like the guy's like the fucking most deaf of underground Irish
fully.
slab surfing or something. I don't know. He's fucking out there, dude. Uh, yeah, and Dark Side of the Lens is like just it's eternal. It's like pretty much the fucking, in my
Yeah,
mind, like the most artistic surf
everyone's
film ever
watching it,
made.
aren't they? Yeah, they just, in Ireland, they're still probably watching it before the sessions come up. I don't know. It's just one of them, isn't
Sick.
it?
I love
Yeah,
that. Fuck,
yeah.
that's
I
rad.
think
They
it's,
so they should, mate. And like that, the storytelling in it just captures that age, that golden age we're talking about in the most vivid way that it hits so hard, man. And it's rad to be able to share that language and understand, everything he's saying. And, some of the things he said to me when I was up there too, like I remember him saying like, oh, we're just a couple of pikeys having a laugh. Like, that's the way he thinks about these
yeah,
fucking missions into 50-foot onshore surf on the back of a jet
yeah,
ski.
yeah.
Free,
But if
like,
you look at, but if you hang with him hard, it's like he's some, you see this. Yeah, he's that's his humble side. That's his sort of Cornish like humble side of just we don't talk about stuff. You know what I mean? You can't like because you just get rinsed, and that's just how we got to be, right? And so you come in like that, and he's just as humble as it gets. But yeah, like you see this creative side to him, and you hang out, and he's just doing his thing. He's like tapped in. He's been on the shrooms like big time. Like and maybe he was some of the times, but he was just loving it, and I'm just like what's going on? Like he's he's calling these things to do and he's seeing things so differently, than we are. It's when you meet those people, it's just he's literally just on a different frequency he's operating on. And yeah, I just love that energy and to be around that. Like I miss hanging out with Mick. He's back in Cornwall now, though, full time with his fam, and like so when I finally get back home, I can go and say hello. It's been a long time coming. I haven't been home since I got smoked in Tahiti, so it's a bit strange that I haven't gone back to the roots and seen Cornwall. So I really need to get back. There's quite a lot going on. Mum and Dad haven't been doing that well the last couple of years, but especially last couple of weeks. So we need to be getting back there soon, and they're doing all right again now. But you know what I mean? It's that we're at that age where it's yeah, real, and we're just like what's going on here? Do I need to jump on a flight? Like it's been a few moments that it's hard being this far away, but yeah, it's just it's just what we're doing. It's like it's such a beautiful place, New Zealand, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's there's space and there's freedom, and I feel like I'm just I'm immersed in it now. It's just where we live, so I'm happy here. But it is weird being that far away.
you mentioned meditation. Is that a part of your program, like
Well, it
daily?
wasn't. It wasn't really. Meditation and such. It's like there's different forms, isn't it? And I'd be up in Ireland when I was a kid, and I'd be getting into it. Like be on my own and on the hills, like when I lived there, and I'd just be like going out from a walk and doing some sort of like caveman tai chi, like a bloody lunatic. But you just end up because no one's looking, no one cares, and even if they are looking, it's just a bunch of fathers and who cares, like they're loving it. Oh yeah, okay, he's probably had a few whiskeys, it's all good, and like this is what you do. That's what I've done. I've always been into, I guess, just connecting with nature. Be and myself, and that's how I do it. And so I separate myself from people, and that's how I tune in and get in amongst the nature or like-minded people to get in that state. But usually it's my solo little thing. And now though, with meditation as such being that sort of 20-minute thing, which is said that Dave sent over to me after I got nailed, he I reached out to him and he was great, and yeah, it just really is just a guided breath work, box breathing style. technique, and you can do a short one or a longer one, a 20-minute one, as far as I go with it. And it's just if you can get that in the day, you will have a different day. That's just the way it works. So um, you can just negotiate life easier on the daily, and just the general bullshit of stuff as well doesn't really phase you because you just kind of want to love play. You're just like you can take a different perspective on the stuff that just comes at us, and yeah, it makes me just feel calmer and more tuned in with myself and less stressed and less like thinky, more like feely.
Mm.
Sound like creep, but I just cruise around feeling things. No, I don't know what I'm going on about, but you know what I mean,
No,
don't you?
I know exactly what you mean. I think you articulated it really well, and
Did
like
I?
the reason I ask is just yeah, because I feel like whenever you have tough decisions to make and you do that kind of work, it's almost as though you're letting something else make the decision for you. Like you're letting the
Yeah,
universe or God or the source or whatever
yeah,
kind of show you the way. And it always does. It never fails
yeah,
to
yeah,
show you the correct course and the correct path. And it's a fucking superpower
yeah,
when
man.
it comes
Yeah,
to surfing, I think, particularly in the arena of waves of consequence, because you just make better decisions.
yeah, yeah. The ego just takes a little back step, but he's present, but it's not like the driving force, and that's the key, really. Because yeah, how many times have we just sort of force things and it resists? It's not the flow, it's not the way. When you're in the right kind of place, it's all really easy somehow, and it's quite weird. Why should it be so easy? But it's such a hard thing if you're not there. If you're making the wrong decisions, like you say, it can be so traumatic and hard. There's not really a grey area when it's heavy. It's just one or the other. So I'll definitely make the effort to get my little meditations in when I can. And I do it here. It doesn't have to be for the waves. It definitely translates into life. Like, and especially with kids. I got a 2-year-old and a 7-year-old, and we don't have any help from anyone. So it's
That's
full
hard.
full bore. So in a good way, but it's full bore. So my
Mm.
day starts at 5 in the morning, and we're on, and then we're off till yeah, 8 9 o'clock with the holidays. It's a long day, but we're a great unit, like my wife and I, and it's just about balance and communication, and you just sort of like you say these little things you can implement like meditation and just like we're lucky enough to go in the water for a wash and just to cleanse, so to speak. Like it's just that's like what really helps, and it's hugely beneficial.
Mm, mm. And the wipeouts at Chopes, like you reached out to us and you made a good point. Like we were unfairly critical of you in that situation, like where we didn't acknowledge all the time you'd put in at that wave. Uh, and then you got hurt twice in a row. The first one was like a serious injury, but not life-threatening. Or
Oh,
was
it
it? Or
was actually,
you had a
yeah.
punctured lung in the end or something?
So what it was, yeah, jumped out the lip like I always do. Do you know what I mean? How many times? Like,
Yeah.
we all do. Like Von
Well,
Rupp goes for a
it's
swell.
so
Russ
common.
Bjerke, last two,
Yeah,
you can see the last two swells they had at Chokes. They pop, jump out,
you got
popped
to.
out the back, or they
Jiao
go over,
Chianca, the best in the world, do it.
bang.
Yeah,
And so it was just one of them ones. We just press the eject, and it's the best, safest way possible, as long as you don't break both your legs because it's so shallow. Like, same at pipe when you do it, there's always that chance if you fucking pencil, like, you might just fucking hit the reef, but usually you don't. Like, anyway, yeah, sucked back over and I hit the reef and I broke 5 ribs, punched my lung, and I broke my shoulder on the shoulder blade part, just at the top of the shoulder blade there.
yuck.
And so the whole side was a crunch, yeah. And I thought it was just reef style. That's how it felt initially. And I felt like reefs in me or something. I was like, oh no, but the wetsuit wasn't too open. Okay, there's no blood and things, but this is internal. It's like, oh shit, it's probably worse. But I was on my own. That was what made it life threatening. The thing was, if I'd have just got picked up by the ski, and by the way, the water safety boys like are usually amazing. Like Matahi and the lads are like machines, and Vitaya and the lads that look after you, they're like for whatever reason, it was just one of them moments where it wasn't a particularly big wave. Tom's probably going through the lagoon, you know, change boards, whatever it was. He's there looking after their boys. Like, I've just got out there. It's not, for whatever reason, miscommunication or whatever, or lack of communication. I don't know. I just was on my own. That was what made it hard because I had to get in by myself. So that was the part. So there was a 30 minutes there where I'm making my way in because I had to do it very slowly and with one arm
Mate,
and holding on. And it was just a mess. And I was getting wrapped up in the coral, the leash, and pulled under midway through and drowning and then coming up. And I couldn't breathe as it was. So it was a nightmare. And when I was breathing, it was just like, like that. And I was just doing that for, what felt like days, even though it wasn't. But, that whole day into the night until I was, I guess, hooked up and stable and morphined up. That was the only time in the morning. The next morning, I wasn't breathing like that. I felt like that's what kept me alive, is all my power, like my energy inside was just, I knew I had to just get those breaths in and out. Otherwise, I was going to pass out in the water, getting through that lagoon. So that was the critical part. Once I got onto the land, some lads helped me along the rocks, kind of thing. I was just, like, it was hard to just get to across the bridge or towards the bridge from where I ended up because I was way down. I was in like this weird part, like in the jungle and stuff, what I was doing. But and then the ambulance is there, and then you kind of relax a bit because you kind of at least got the paramedics. You know what I mean? But they can't see what's going on. And then I was kind of in and out of consciousness that day quite a bit from then on in. Um, so I had a blood transfusion because I lost a lot of blood,
wow.
and then I was in there with the tubes and all the gear for, I guess it was a couple of weeks, whatever it was. It was
Wow.
horrible in there too. That
That
time, this time was lovely. They were really cool. It was just like a different experience this time. In so many ways, it was completely different. The last, the one I had when I blacked out and got resuscitated. What I got. Yeah, it's completely different injuries, completely different experiences on every level possible. From my medical side of things in the hospital, of how it felt in the hospital itself. Like, guess that was just one of them days. You know how hospitals are, public hospitals. You can get seen straight away, and you're on and you're in, and it's boom, 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 and everything's just pro wipe, or it's just boom, 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 and then once you're stable, it's just forgot about Dre. I had to fucking dig deep in there and just it was pretty messy that first trip, to try and get through that there few weeks.
oh,
Yeah,
I can't believe you had to paddle in. It's a long paddle. I've done that paddle. It's not short. And if you got one arm and a puncture, like that's, mate, the fact that you were able to push through
oh
and
no,
save
mate.
yourself in that situation is crazy. Like
Yeah,
most
that
people
was
would have
a
blacked
bit.
out.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, you've seen what people do all the time in these mountains, and I love all the old stories on the mountains. Should I shut that door because of that lawnmower?
Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah, may as well. I can't
don't
really hear much, but
don't care. Oh, sweet. I'll leave it then if you're loving it. All I can hear is ring, ring, ring. Someone's
oh yeah,
mowing the
give it
lawn
shut.
up there.
Maybe shut it then.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly. Oh, that'll help a bit anyway.
Yeah.
It's so funny because at the start of this, I saw the flipping kids as well. They came back as soon as we started. I was thinking, but I don't know where they've gone. They're just, yeah, good on them. They're being good, and I don't know what's going on. Usually, it's an absolute madhouse. Just anyway,
Little
but yeah,
legends.
no, but that first experience, I don't know if you ever saw or heard how I sort of spoke about it and what I experienced, but that was just like this really painful, so much more painful and so much more intense situation and sort of aftermath of an injury and experience. But when I was in and out of yeah, like when I was in and out of, like, I guess just consciousness, and that I was experiencing the proper psychedelic experiences of, like, whatever you want to call it. So I've never felt anything remotely close to that, apart from the feeling you get when you catch the wave of your life or the birth of my children. That's the beautiful bit of that experience, which I can relate it to. but I was seeing and hearing and so many different things. It was like a black dark part and then into the light part, the proper yin yang experiences of just what kind of what people talk about when they talk about ayahuasca and that. And I haven't done ayahuasca and those things. So, but I can say, oh yeah, that's very similar. I mean, it felt like I really just was so in the sort of heavens of the purest form of the pitch and the noise was so euphoric and it was so white and light and I was just feeling all these things and it wasn't just the one moment. It was down and up on this, and it could have been something to do with what my body was shutting down or this that and the other, and it took me to those places like consciously. But it was amazing. It was really hard at times, where like I said, I felt dark and it was like a void of such. It was like, almost like I went right in and I saw so many different versions of kind of tragic forms of myself and different versions of my life as I was in that moment and how I'd move forward. And there was so many flashes that we went through. It was really a real powerful experience that sort of day following my accident. Once I got back to the shore, it was unreal. When I did leave the hospital and I went outside, and even in the hospital, so bloody thankful, mate. I was just full of just gratitude from the fullest, and my heart was so full, and I was the happiest. It was really happy. I was really happy. The little baby, like Chili, our youngest, our 2 year old, was in Tess's belly at the time, and she flew over from New Zealand to come be there with me, and Tiger Lily, my eldest girl, she was obviously there, and it was just like, wow, I'm so bloody lucky, and and then the world itself, any person I've ever connected with and haven't connected with came forward and just reached out and gave me love, in so many forms that it was just amazing. So that was an overwhelming experience and beautiful experience. And I thought, out of all of my lifetime, that's my kind of, I guess, the biggest part of my journey that I'm going to feel until I, pass over to the other side, whatever you want to call it, and finally, and then it would go again in Tahiti and first wave, like no, not first wave back, first session back, and yeah, I'm having a really good surf. I've made a handful of barrels. I'm enjoying my surf. I'm like not scared or freaking out. I'm just really like not hassling the boys. I'm just sitting on the edge of the pack. I'm like, to the point where they're like, go Tom, you know what I mean, on like little nugs, and I'm like, I'll take the little nugs. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to prove anything to anybody. I'm over here for 6 weeks. I'm with my family. We're posted up. We're cruising. Yeah, and I'm in the barrel, and as I'm in the tube, bang, I hit the reef, and that's the next scenario. In that scenario, just to go into that a little bit, was just the opposite. It was like blacked out, obviously, and whatever happened happened. First thing I remember, I'm in the harbour, and there's Matahi and Patea and the crew there, and I'm just like, oh no, I'm the guy again that's in the hospital thing. You know what I mean? I'm in the back of the ambulance, and how did this happen again? Like I was having like what, and I couldn't understand it all really, and I'm just vomiting up water, and I'm just a mess, and I'm like, nah, not like that. Come on, like trying to make sense of it for then on in, and I'm just in the hospital, and again, I wasn't in any real pain. I had cuts all over me. That was, stitches. It's all just stitches and lots of stitches in different places around my body from being pinballed around on the reef and that. But yeah, it was a different experience. There was no euphoric. There was hardly even any gratitude, if I'm honest with you. Initially, it was more just like, fuck, this is kind of shit. Like, and I was super thankful for the boys. They saved my life, like Sage and Matea saved my life. So, you'd have thought, oh, but I was just what I was feeling inside. I was saying things, but what I was feeling was like pretty dark. And so that was the start of, I guess, the concussion things were just weird. Like it was just a whole other thing I hadn't experienced before. Um, yeah, it's crap, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone. It's horrendous, man. You can't make sense of it. You can't see it. You can't look at your knee and say, "Oh, it's inflammation. I've got to rest it. I've got to ice it, or whatever you got to do." it's just in your head and you don't know what's going on, and going for a scan, a brain scan, oh, yeah, looks okay, or but you're feeling like a piece of shit. You think you're fucking the worst dad ever, and the worst bloke ever to be around, and some of the time it probably was. I was just like down and flat. It's just a bit crap. So yeah, that was that accident. But then you get to a place where you're like feeling like, yeah, I'm getting my getting my groove back, and I'm just happy. More importantly, I'm myself again. So it's just time, and you've got to implement the right kind of things to get you in, help yourself recover, and in time you get there. But yeah, that was that accident.
Mm.
But no, thanks for bringing up. And yeah, the reason why I reached out to you, yeah, like I said, after your thing, I was like so stoked. Oh, cheers, lads, biggest shower ever. But what you mentioned was that yeah, I'd put in some time as a kid, and I guess I just felt like I just didn't want. I guess I had some sort of chip on my shoulder or something, but I just didn't want like people to get the wrong impression that I just sort of turn up and just go into like big wave send mode at like one of the most consequential slabs on planet Earth, which I respect in the highest level. And I'm definitely not hassling no one. I'm bottom of the pack and I'm just chilling. So, ask all the lads that were there those days, there's no, yeah, there ain't no like, here I go again. I'm charging guy. It was, oh no, we're taking this one, very seriously, and we know the lineups and we've been here before, and yeah, we know how to get in and out. There's no like boats or skis taking me in and out those years. We're going through the lagoon, we're doing laps. We know our way around. We snap boards and swam in, and yeah, I got to know the place, and I had shared ways with Vitaya out there and cool experiences like that. You know what I mean? And like I went out with Matahi on the boat, and yeah, had the safety covered with Vitaya, and you know what I mean. We're not taking it lightly, so and we've put in some time. So thanks for bringing
Yeah.
that up.
Oh man, it just seems like north of 40, like there's just not many dudes who are willing to take that wave on.
Full
A
on
lot
in
of
it
these
that wave.
big wave legends, like they kind of exited the slab game a while ago. You Twiggies, Mel's, Dorian. Uh,
Well,
it just because
Dorian's still sending it back door.
I did see that.
He's still going, mate.
Yeah,
Going
yeah, I
Dorian.
did see that. But even then, it's a very calculated backdoor wave. Like that one was like a bit big, maybe a bit off the back of the reef. Like it wasn't like a fucking that
Yeah.
super on the bricks, doubled up kind of backdoor slab. That
Well, he had one at Chopes too last year, didn't he?
did he?
Oh, Dozza, yeah, I saw him
Well,
flipping stand in the pit. But I know what you mean. I know what you're getting at. I mean, it's like, yeah, but even not just the age thing. I think too. There's a big board kind of like there's charging, and it's respectfully so. It's its own thing. It's almost like then there's the slab thing. Then there's both of those two, which is your Russ Bjerkes and whatnot. Yeah, Matt Bromley, even like some of the undergroundy kind of dudes that aren't the biggest names of. But they're Kip's getting into the big wave world now. I mean, he's nuts. Like he's epic. He's great to see him just Jaws last year and stuff. It's wicked. All these guys have got mad skills, but and John, you know what I mean. You give him now he's not on tour or something. So I just sort of saw early. I'm thinking, oh, I can't wait for him to come over to Ireland and that. But these guys that can do it all. There's that one, and then there's the toe surfing thing, which is toe surfing, and it's his own category as well. But yeah, I mean, some of them used to come over to Ireland, like some of the bigger wave guys, and go, "Fuck that! Cheers, let's see you later, lads. Hang out for a couple of weeks. Like, we'll do safety and whip you in and that, and we'll watch some sessions. And but fuck that, you know, like it's a different thing. It's sab surfing's different. It's just a different thing.
yeah,
It's
and it
different.
relies a lot more on those really quick twitch reflexes that do tend to age a bit as you get older. Like especially chopes, man. Frontside when it's
Oh,
8 foot and
frontside's a
above, it just
nightmare.
looks like a
Yeah,
fucking nightmare. It's so technical. It looks easier. I mean, easy is not the word. It looks more achievable backside than frontside
I
at that
agree.
size.
I
But
agree.
I honestly reckon there's probably 50 people on Earth who have the ability when it's 8 foot and above to get it
Yeah,
done out there frontside. It's so sticky and it's so
yeah, that's
weightless and
sticky.
beyond
Yeah,
vert almost. It like
just pops, doesn't it? It just pops.
it
It's that
pops.
pop. It kind of goes like pop, and then it rolls over. So you've got to be already in it before you're on it, and that's the thing. And you see the chest and the arm, they go right over, they go right down it, and yeah, like in watching Matahi out there is insane, insane to watch live. The way he moves in the water out there, moves all around the reef and catches them from different spots. There's no, oh, that's where Matahi sits. He's everywhere. He's like a cat, and he just, oh, it's incredible. I'm happy that I got to see all that day before it went Pete Tong on that. But
I love that insight,
yeah,
man. And I guess that's what I was getting at is like, you know, he has the kind of relationship with that wave that you have with Mullaghmore, and
yeah,
he can't do what you can do at Mullaghmore, and
I
vice
hear you.
versa at
Yeah,
Chopes. And there's just, people have strengths
I hear you.
and
Yeah,
weaknesses, and yeah,
yeah.
like
See, if we could flip her around and we got the backside grab, at least we might, like you said earlier. I think we'd have a bit more of a chance than not a chance. I think the front side. I think you're making valid points, man, and I do agree with you as far as strengths and weaknesses. And it's a roll of the dice on the front side, and it is. That's why, personally speaking, it's such a good challenge for me because it is such a roll of the dice, and I like challenges. I don't want to stay comfortable in my space. It's not, that's not my way. And, that's why I go away from Ireland since a kid because of, we've got to test the self. We've got to go out Mavs and we've got to have a couple of looks at the left, see what the left's doing. What's this all about? You know what I mean? Put some time in and live in the caravan for 6 weeks and get to know it and paddle out with Grant Washburn and the lads and get to know Doc and all the local community. Yeah, I'm all about putting the time in and doing it that way. And that's what we did at Tahiti back in the day because it was only a handful of us surfing like out there most days, or 10 of you. Like it was great. It was, I mean, that wasn't even that long ago, really. Like 15 odd years ago. That's not very long ago. It's not like I'm talking back in now. I'm just talking like a while ago. It's changed that much, and there's sneaky sessions you could have, and it feels like now, oof, the level's just top of the notch there. So it's hard to, yeah, to get the waves you want. But yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's that.
yeah, man. Well, like I think one of the most satisfying things, as just a surf fan about your career is the way that you've gone on with it. Like I think when you guys come online and we got our first look at yourself and Fergal and Mickey, it was like, oh yeah, here are these guys from this part of the world where they're really set up to surf these waves. They know how to deal with the cold, the
Yeah,
extra rubber, the conditions, but like, they're not going to travel well. They're not going to translate well.
yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of what puts you in the bracket of, the best surfers to come out of Europe and probably the best surfer to come out of the UK is that you have traveled, mate. You've done it all. You've fucking been to Cloudbreak and Mavs and Jaws and like you've had you know, as good a waves as anyone at these spots, like that Jaws one in particular, the backside tubes, like unbelievable. It's up there. What do you remember
yeah.
of that thing, man? That's such a
I don't
sick
even
one.
know. Well, so yeah, that was a mad one. That was mad because it was that El Nino, so it was all kicking off. And I remember I was living in Ireland, and I'd surfed the cliffs that week, pumping the first run, and I'd missed the big day when Aaron Gold got that bomb and Pedro went that left and things. So I was like, fuck, maybe I should have gone, but I was like loving where I was and scoring. Um, and then so I jumped on the next one, and then yeah, I was that would I mean, so I've got like this spirit animal for sure as a turtle, right? So the turtle popped up before that set came in, and I knew like to paddle to it because it's done that at Pipe, I've done it at Tahiti when I've had a special one at Chopes when I was younger. Yeah, so I was just like, there it is, and I paddled, and so it was that thing again. I start moving, and I don't think I'm just moving. I know there's a set, and then as I go over the wave, I start to turn because I know I'm going on the next one before I've looked at it almost, and then I'm going. And yeah, I just got that nice entry in. That's the thing. I got down it nicely. But the thing is with Jaws on your backhand, it's basically a nightmare. Really, like it is. It's the hardest wave I've ever surfed on a big board, like because I'm a goofy fur. It's the hardest way because I don't. Every time you go one that's decent size and has got actual bowl on it, it's just oh, flipping heck, you know what I mean? Because you don't know if it's going to chew properly. Usually, it doesn't always. Usually doesn't kind of thing, or it's going to be messy in there. And then the odd one just goes woof and it's huge, right? But that wave in particular basically mirrors what I was doing at Aileen's that week before almost. It was just like ding, ding, ding down it. Little aversion. I'm on like a 7-6 or whatever I'm on at Aileen's, but I'm on a 10-6 here. And so I'm gung, gung, gung. It's a big aversion. And then it's crank off the bottom, grab the rail and slip, tuck up into it, It's like the line I know just subconsciously, like the same way, you mentioned about like the big board at Mullaghmore, negotiating that through the bowls and the boils and things. It's like I've got that in there still because it's like I was doing the slab stuff and it's like that honking around the corner, back door, and it's if you towed in a slab. And some of the time we were towing in at Riley's or the slab, right? So it's just that kink and then thump, and you've logged it in the memory, muscle memory, the whole thing, and there's not the thought. It's just a motion. You're in the motion. So that was what it was at Jaws. It was almost the same feeling, except it was it was just I wouldn't say I had that feeling of like wow because I couldn't enjoy it for that long because it was all real fast, and then it was a big wipeout after because as I was coming out, which I'd done again, just the same thing at Aileen's, and I dislocated my shoulder on one a handful of years before. So it was the same thing. I coming out the tube and then I kind of do a back flop thing, and then my shoulder comes out, and then I go over the falls. Is what happened at Aileen's, and same thing happened then. Except I didn't dislocate my shoulder, and I get rumbled about, and then I pop up, and there's Greg picking me up. Greg Long, cheers, boy. Stoked. I'm sitting on the back, and then there's Dorian. I'm on the back of the ski with Dorian, fucking Shane Dorian. Shit, I'd never even hardly surfed Jaws, and I'm going, this is sick. So Dozza's like, that was sick, Tommy. I'm like, that was the best feeling because it was Dozza. I'm like, yes.
Amazing.
Can't wait to tell the boys, Dozza. That was the part that I enjoyed most was chilling after. But the ride itself was just exciting. You know what I mean? What I can't tell you, like, yeah, there was a slab on it, but right now the main stoke was when I was sitting on the channel, like actually enjoying it. And I thought, I don't think I'll bother getting another wave now. I think I'll just sit on the boat and have a beer,
Mate, what's it
enjoy
like?
it.
Like sitting on the back of a boat and getting recognition from, Dorian's like a cartoon
Oh, he's a
superhero in
freak.
my
He
mind.
is. Oh, same, same. No, he's one of the best. He's the best, isn't he? He is the best, really, isn't he? Who's better than Dorian?
I don't know. And have a look at him, mate. The dude's rig is unbelievable. He dead set looks like a superhero right now. I don't know what supplements he's on, but he is jacked. And
Oh, fuck. That's
holy
so
shit! Like,
classic.
who's been particularly who's really
Oh, I can't
mentored
stop
you
thinking
and
about his rig. Sorry.
you can't get it out of your
He
mind. You
shaves
can't
that
unsee
shit.
that shit.
He's so flexed. It's
He's
nuts, isn't it?
so
Good
jacked.
on
It's
him.
crazy.
Good on him.
Oh,
He's
mate,
been through a
100%.
lot. He's been through a lot, man. Tell you, he's to come back and fucking just be absolutely ripping still. I mean, his performance too, and it people forget because of how gnarly he went on this big wave stuff. How sick his style is and what he does. It's just classic. Like that's vintage stuff when you just watch him shredding. But we don't see enough. So Shane ever listens, we want more of that shred. We need more shred, Shane.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, mate. Take it easy in retirement. You don't have to be going 10 footers at
Yeah,
back door anymore. Just,
exactly,
couple
exactly.
signature carves with that finger, the hand pointing. But yeah, like who's really mentored you and who's been really helpful on this journey out of that world, Like it's been
Yeah.
amazing to see
Um,
you get accepted and recognized by those guys.
well, I feel like Greg Long and Rusty Long, those two in particular, definitely stand out in that realm because of I used to travel a lot with Rusty and Greg during that sort of 10-year period there where it was sort of Mavericks all the time and Jaws and then Porto. Yeah, so and they're so dialed in down in Porto. I just love that little scene down there. I was so I'm so grateful to have tapped into that era as well, because that in itself was special. Just to see Greg do his thing there and feed on that, and just talk story and boards and conditions, and just yeah, I like that. It's an old school again. It's a different generation, so it's like it's not about like surfing the wave and then like seeing, checking out the shots and all that afterwards, and getting the film and you're all up there and you're going to post it or whatever it is. It's a different era, so it's like enjoy it for a few days, just let it sink in, and then like give it a couple of weeks, and yeah, maybe throw something up, that kind of vibes where they're at now, and like, but back then it was yeah, not even obviously in the picture, but I love that about them, and that inspires me. And Russ Bjerke's a classic. I've keep mentioning him. Everyone's going to think I'm got a little crush on the guy, but
Oh, who
I
doesn't
like
have a
his.
little crush on Russ
Come
Bjerk?
on, I like the way he does it. Basically, he's a humble warrior, and he lets the surfing do the talking, and he's not blowing out nothing. He's just doing his thing, and amazing that his sponsors basically obviously support that, because in this day and age, everyone's up for instant gratification, aren't they? Let's just get that bad boy up. We need to get the hits whilst it's hot and all that. I don't think he gives a fuck. Like, it's good.
It's the most core version of the sport, is what you and Ross and Greg and Rusty and Twiggy do. Like, it is the absolute outer limits of courage and performance and technique, because you're getting deep tube rides on waves that we didn't even realize were paddleable for a long time. Like, so it's good to see the industry support that, man. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
rad. Yeah, you guys are
I hope
getting
that comes
props and
back. I hope it comes back, because it's like maybe it'll just crash, you know what I mean? The machine, and then it's like it'd be cool if it was just like work on edits and mags, and it all kind of went
yeah.
in a circle. Because I mean, like Harry Bryant too, man. I mean, he just gets me psyched. He's so cool. He's just such a beast in all conditions. And again, it's just that he's got Big Dav behind him, and the two of them are unstoppable. And then Lobby jumps in on it, you know, Tom, and then three of them, they cruise around. It's just the best trio known to mankind. It is. It's just the best vibe on, like going, and yeah, that's inspiring for me. I mean, I would love to have more budget to make projects that, yeah, and just a couple of years and then just do, but I'm just not I'm just not financially like, and also just it's not part of my flow. I can't. I'm not. Yeah, it doesn't work. I've got to kind of get my little post out sometimes and do something, because it feels like if I don't, yeah, what I don't know, man. Like I can't afford to like buy all the clips and have the film. I don't have a filmer with me and stuff like that. So I do it the way I do it, and I'm just it's working okay, and the sponsors like seem to be okay with that, and I'm just going to milk it as long as possible. Like, I ain't going to change anything. Like, and hopefully they don't want me to. And yeah, hopefully just as well, there's a lot of change, talking about change. The first, like, I just thought about, which is quite maybe interesting, is just that change in Ireland, right? We've seen more people
Mm.
going out there, which is, in my opinion, super positive, because we're seeing the level. It's just going to keep getting pushed, and it's really exciting. I'm glad that I'm still part of that to see that personally happen. But I just think because it's so young still, even though you're talking about Ferg and we got Connor and Garage, and there's so many just sick dudes coming out of like Ireland and for years, and Noah and all the lads out there. But um, as far as dealing with crowds and how to negotiate that side of things, it's quite a tricky subject. It's difficult. You got the Red Bull beast in town and stuff kicking off, and they're just trying to stoke out their riders and do their thing, and then we're going doesn't really add like line up with how we flow. But then it's like, hey, hang on a minute, these are individuals, and who owns who? No one, and to each their own. And it's just a tricky subject, because say me and you went surfing today and you got a sick one, you know, you could post it that day or tomorrow, and there's still good waves on the horizon, or you can just wait till the waves finish and post it, and it's still going to be sick because you got a sick one. So just hang fire a minute if you want, but I'm not going to say anything, and nobody does because everyone's so nice in Ireland.
Mm.
That's one part of it, and then the other part is just literally in the lineup of just common sense and sort of like respecting it how you would if you turn out a pipe. You're not going to play around out there. You don't play around at Tea or even at Oz, or any of the spots, even here in Raglan. I don't. You just got to first mission there or first for you. Just stay humble, wait your turn, and you're going to get called in even that day. I'm telling you, everyone's so welcoming. So, yeah, it's still just a bit fresh because it's overwhelming, man. It was like the Mavericks Bowl, yeah, on a good day at Mully, and it was like a 10 to 12 foot day, and I'm just like shit. Everyone's hungry for everything. Everyone wants the bomb of the day. The 15 footer comes in, everyone wants that one today. So that's why for me, I'm gonna just go on the, if I'm there, I'm there for those days. I'm usually probably just won't surf, or if I was just try and get in there for a quick one early or something. But I'm just gonna I like the days where it's like it's a toe swell, and then it's like cool because then it's not gonna be like that atmosphere. I like that atmosphere where it's just you, nature. It's just you, the waves, and the boy and the crew that's in, and that's what it's about. And everyone's just sort of like, whoa. They take a step back, and everyone's taking a breath, and it's a spiritual session. It's a really like deep session. It's not a like are you going it? Are you going this one? Like you got it. It's like, well, I don't know if I got it. Kind of don't know.
Mate, that's so challenging. Because sometimes you just got to have a look at those things, and you can't fully commit. Like sometimes, especially a wave like Mullaghmore, you got these big ribs moving through the lineup, all that wind. Like you got to have the option to change your mind sometimes.
Yeah,
Which is
and
that's
just
hard.
yeah, no pressure too. Like if you have a look at one and shut you in, or you just have a look and don't go, I don't think that's a bad thing at all. Like if you don't go, I actually think it's great. Like I've never, yeah, like and I think too, like I said before, you're only going to get good vibes and good atmosphere in Ireland. You know that yourself. It's like, yeah, people are stoked for you to come surf, and um, so yeah, just and if you're not feeling it, don't go on it. Like
Mm.
there's no ego, man. Who cares?
That's it. Don't go, but then you got to go to the back of the queue because that was your turn.
Yeah, but I'm not going to dish out any of that. I'm just gonna just go surfing, man. I'm English at the end of the day.
Mate,
My great nan is Irish. We got some Irish blood in there. We got some over in Dublin actually. So we got the Dublin roots.
oh, it doesn't get more fucking roots Irish than that. Dublin is
Bit of
a
Conor
yeah.
McGregor, mate.
Oh, dude, that is a fucking rough part of the world, old Dublin. In parts, if you go in the wrong parts, it's core island, that place.
Oh yeah.
But and mate, so what's next then?
I've been working on the land here. So like I say, projects here and the now, and it's the kids, and it's just yeah, we're trying to get shed up. You know what I mean? We're just doing stuff like that. Right? We just bought a house a few months ago, and we just moved in, and it's like, yeah, you know how that one goes. It's trying to juggle, right? Like get that routine, get that flow going, and in a new place. And we're just really grateful and super happy, and like my energy's going into that here. And yeah, of course, I say I wake up at 5. I go out training, go out for a run, or I go out do what I do, like go for a surf or whatever early, and then it's game on with the family or work on the house. And um, that's where I'm putting my energy right now. But I'm conscious that it's living end of January, and I mean, we look at the swells hitting Europe now. Yeah, you got to stay on them. And if your spots that you like, not just in Ireland or whatever, but the other ones are going off, you gotta be ready to go at any time. When bags in front of me packed, you know what I mean. It's always packed. I got my cold stuff in there, and I got my semi-cold stuff for like wherever else. And so, but I'm trying to be um, grateful for what I've just had, and instead of needing more or wanting more for the wrong reasons. I don't want to do that. I want to feel that energy that like comes from the genuine place, which is like, oh, I'm really excited. And of course, it's never now. Once had one kid, it was fine, and Tiger Lily, and we were traveling the world, and so we were always in Hawaii or one of these places, or in Portugal, and we were on the journey together. And now she's in school, and we're doing the thing here with the house. That's not really the reason that it's so hard to leave. It's also once Chili was born too, and the two of them. I don't know, something about it. I guess it's more intense. There's more help needed on deck here, but also just how I feel is different, so it's hard for me to leave every time, no matter where I'm going, when I'm going. It's really difficult for me to want to leave my unit. Um, so, but I do have that desire. Otherwise, I wouldn't have continued to do it and done it just now. Um, it just needs to be that extra special feeling or like chart where I go like that storm looks right and it feels right, and I'm already booking it without talking to the crew and wondering, second guessing. And yeah, so I'm just waiting for that really, mate. But we're always on edge. we're anxious sometimes. We're just trying to negotiate that like as well. I'm not like this llama dude, or I'm not like you just got this ride, you got this, yeah, but I'm still negotiating life. Every day is like a challenge at times to control your you might be impatient, you might be reactive, and the kids double crying at the same time. That's all it takes, and give that multiple times. It's been raining all day and you had an inside day and you've done your painting, you've done your drawing. What do we do with them? You're playing with the teddies, you're doing imaginary games. They've watched a couple of little shows. Oh shit. And it's, yeah, and it gets like nervous system breakdown. So we're in it, but then we're also just like, then there's that other side as well, isn't there? There's just the biggest love you ever feel ever, and for the little ones, and they tell you love you and the cuddles and all the good stuff. And Chili, my youngest, is just the best, mate. She's so fun to hang out with. She's so funny. I mean, both of them are amazing, but she's a little beast too, mate. You watch out. She's coming in. She's coming in. I'm telling you, on the record, mate. This thing's swan diving off the grass banks and wiping out, face planting, sliding down face first, backwards in the mud, whatever it is, jumping into the sea head first. Can't swim. Let go of me, Dad. Let go of me. By myself, by myself. And I'm like, yeah, drown, drown. Like you can't swim. Yeah, I love it. You know what I mean? She just loves it, mate. So I was on the skateboard. I was just sending her the down the half pipe, just sending her on a sitting down, yeah. And she's just going up the other side, wiping out and just stoked. And I'm going, hey, is this, I don't want to be like, yeah, I'm not pushy. I don't like, Tiger doesn't really want to skate. It's your thing, Daddy, and like, cool. And then even though she had set up and that, got into it for about 10 minutes and wiped out. And she was like, I'm not into it. She likes singing and dancing. She's real creative. She's got that thing going on. Chili instantly is like, I want to skate, I want to surf. Like we're on the beach area. She's like, I want to surf the big waves. I'm like, what are you on about? Why are you saying that? Like, maybe you will, like, because you look a bit gnarly.
It's in the
So
genes,
that's what we're
mate. That's
doing.
crazy.
That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, really, mate. So just
It's as you get older, you realize that, surfing really should just be there to complement your life. Like, take that energy you got from that session and share it with your loved ones, as opposed to like going home on the bones of your ass all banged up where you're a absolute burden
like
for them.
like the year before, yeah. Like fucking end of February came back just ruined man for sure. Oh, here it goes, tragic daddy, for the next couple of months when he can't surf with a broken rib, but just moaning about mooching about town. It was, but yeah, this time, man. I mean, just to say how it felt when I got back, it was so insane. Like I got when I got back, I was just like I was high for so long off that ride, and I mean, it was yeah, it was just like I didn't know what to do with myself, kind of vibe, and I couldn't really get much sleep for a couple of weeks. It was just coursing through me all of that adrenaline
Wow.
still, and all of it, whatever it was, and I was just yeah, I was just overwhelmed hugely, and I remember and about 2 or 3 days getting after getting back, and I guess I just like finally just sort of like, oh, I'm safe kind of style, I guess, because I'm back, in safe place. And it's Christmas, so I'm staying here for Christmas. I won't miss Christmas with the kids for any swell ever. And so I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. We're good. You know what I mean? Just calm down. I think I was just, and I just fucking went. I just started bawling by myself. With Chili. Tess was putting Chili to sleep and that in the other room there, and I was just, oh, flipping heck, here it comes from nowhere. We had a couple of moments in Ireland, like I said, and I was a bit like, oh, anyone kicking around? It was just quick ones, like a little. I'm kind of stoked. That was a cool ride. Just what am I crying about? Yeah, I'll just let it go. Yeah, it's beautiful. I don't know what I'm up to, right? This one was just like, hang on a minute, mate. You're convulsing. You're having a fucking fit here, mate. This shit, like I was tweaking out. My stomach was just, I couldn't breathe, and I was just so like, and it just kept coming, and it was hours, mate. And I couldn't speak because the missus was obviously with me by then. What the heck's going on here? You all right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't just cry. I'm not like this tragic dude who cries all the time, by the way. And I'm just like, all I can say really is just too much, like for me. Do you know what I mean? I was just saying, I don't know, because I don't, yeah, it was just finally, it just healed me, mate. Like, I literally healed me, that mission itself. And I was just finally able to just, like, let it all go in a way. And, stuff I wasn't aware of. So I'm just so bloody thankful that I got rid of that stuff because who knows what it might have amounted to if I just kept it all in. And I was having osteo treatments. My mate in town's like, he doesn't talk about it being, out there, the stuff he does with his Reiki mad hands. He's just very like, yeah, I'm just sort of, yeah, reading your body and moving it how it wants to go and opening up, you know, the system a bit. And he's been working magic on me, the guy in town, Manu, but this was a layer that I don't think anyone could get to. It was like, and there it was. Yeah, that was a mad one, mate. Mad one.
Mm.
It was
It,
just like, whoa.
yeah, I'm reminded of this quote by Mark Healy in that Thundercloud documentary. It plays all the time in my head. It's one of the most profound things I've ever heard. And he talks about how they say energy never dissipates. And so, like, the energy created by a storm, thousands of kilometers away, it turns into waves which hit a reef like Cloudbreak or elsewhere. And the surfer that rides that wave and comes out of it, like the energy from that storm lives on inside of him or
Whoa.
her. And then hearing your story makes me realize that, like, that energy, it can be a force for incredible good or it can be catastrophically bad. And whether
Mm,
it's incredibly good or catastrophically bad depends on how in alignment the surfer is.
yeah,
If
yeah,
they're
yeah,
in their ego and they're making bad decisions and they're doing it for the wrong reasons, it'll be catastrophically bad and or it can be catastrophically bad and life changing. And when everything's in alignment and you're doing things for the right reasons and making the right decisions, it can be life changingly good and peel back layers of
yeah,
fucking
man.
trauma and pain and help you
Yeah,
process that shit.
there you go. Yeah, I mean, who knows, man? We could add
Who
some
knows?
childhood stuff or some stuff we brought along into the world from past. I mean, I don't know how deep to look at it, but
It's just a
I
lot of
mean,
energy,
it's
like
just a lot.
it's
It's too
so
much.
much energy that
It's too
you
much
have.
for this form, man. Like we
Exactly.
can't handle it. We're just a little human, mate. Like
Yeah,
it's too much. I know. That's what I was saying. I was saying that it's too much. It's too much for me.
it's
I
too
wasn't
much.
talking about energy. I was just talking about all of it. I don't know, but then that's maybe what I'm talking about. It was all of this stuff, mate. I can't really understand, because I thought I knew the sort of formula feeling. I've always just been, guided by like my instinct. You know what I mean? I'm just kind of raw on that, and that's kind of my thing, in general. And I'll kind of definitely wear a heart on the sleeve, so to speak, as like I'm very open. I'll talk about, how I feel and what you see, what you get, and I'm not judgmental. I talk to anyone, and that's it. But yeah, just I don't know. It's just I can't understand. I thought I understood how to get to the place where I was ready for game day and I was game ready and I was on. And sometimes I was in my lifetime in that form, but then this one's just flipped that right on its head because it's like when you're least ready, really, and you're least, I guess, just on and trained in heavy surf and ready to rumble, or like kind of like yeah, just and your sort of confidence and you're all that. I didn't have any confidence. I didn't have any of that. I was just like this, you know, kind of felt like just shell dude, just kind of, yeah, just trying to just figure it out. Like, and that's when I'm gonna perform at my, personal highest level during that month. And yeah, I guess I did put the time in, like you say. I don't know, I did put the time in on them on that sort of 6 month period there after my accident. I did put some serious surfing time in and some energy into that and some training in. But you've got to understand too where I am and what I'm surrounded with. It's a different kind of inspiration. It comes from a different place. It's not like I don't train with the crew, yeah, and like there's no like sponsored dudes amping me up and filmers and hype and comeback journey or something or whatever or anything. And it's just my own path, and I'm kind of just I'm with the kids. You know what I mean? As well, I'm like feeling that's where my most of my stuff's going. It's like it's fascinating how it does remind me a little bit when Tiger was born. I was worried that like, oh, once you have a kid, you know what I mean? I can't train as much as I used to. I'm not going to be as ready. And then that's when I started getting the best rides I've ever had. It was after she was born, specifically that one at Mullaghmore. So, you know, evident that, hey, hang on a minute, like, yeah, like you said, it's that kind of, yeah, you know, meditative state or that awareness of when you're kind of offline and just to stay centered and yeah, you know, keep bringing yourself back to your where you're making the right decisions for yourself, you know, not based on the ego and the other people's kind of energies affecting you. You really tuned in, and I guess that's where that healing part came from here, and it came like my sort of journey back was from a really raw, pure place, and maybe that's why it worked out. But it does just yeah make me wonder, you know, like I've thought about a lot about it, like when I can, when I'm not looking after the kids. I've thought about it a lot, you know. I sometimes don't sleep, and I'm just like, how did that work out? Like, how do I get that again? You know, like, because I'd like to feel that again. Like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? I want to go back to Jaws. Why don't I go? You know, well, can I get that backhand barrel and make that this season? No, that'd be nice. Like, why not? If I'm feeling like if I'm tuned in, but then I'm like, yeah, but it's been fucking couple of months or however long it's been, or a month since Molly, and since I've been surfing heavy waves. So like, you know, it's been like we had 2 weeks there where the kids we were sick for like the whole of Christmas, whole of New Year's. Well, the hell was your Christmas? You loving it? I'm like, nah, it's been tragic, you know, because you're just like up all night with the kids spewing up, and it turned into this bloody chest infections and in the house, and it's just like, like when's this gonna end? And it's just like mates text me, you come surfing, the point's got there's a couple of waves, you know, like where are you? And I'm just like,
Dying.
yeah, I'm in Mordor right now, just fucking Sauron looking at me dead in the fucking third eye, burning through my retinas. It's just horrendous. But yeah, maybe we are back there now, mate. I hope so. I hope I can channel into and tap into that again and get more magic rides in the future. But um, yeah, if anything I've learned now, I don't have a bloody clue what's going to happen, do I? Because I'm doing my humble little cruisy thing in Tahiti, and I'm putting in this stint thing that I think is going to be a great time, and facing my like the place after the first accident, and there I am again getting smashed. So it's
Mm.
um, I'm not going to rush the decision to, even though Matahi hit me up a few days ago, and we got an advert in from that day, a Yeti one in the journal, and it's me and him chilling on the boat or whatever. I was like, sick, you know, and he's like, brother, you know, house always open for you, like, love to have you over. And I'm just thinking, oh, fucking, here we go again. But like, I'm not going to rush into that decision, mate. You know what I mean? That's a different beast, like you say. It's a different wave and a different time in my life, and I've just got to respect all the elements and not, yeah, not force it. So 10% battery.
Mm-mm. Yeah. Oh man, I
But
think you've got 10 years left in you of like high.
10.
I
Oh
mean,
shit.
if like Twiggy and
Nice.
shit are any gauge, which they definitely are, like the
Don't
long.
compare me. I would say don't compare me to Twiggy. Twiggy is a one. He's a specimen. He's a silverback gorilla in his own category. He is
Oh,
respect
100%.
fair dues to Twig. He's a monster.
Oh,
He just
he's one of the all-time greats. But like all those guys are in that realm, like the Long brothers, Twiggy, like everyone's pushing their limits deep into their 40s and 50s. So
Yeah,
it just, you're in that same category with those guys. So I think there's plenty more time. It's just that those kinds of 6 to 8 foot slabs, there's just fucking no
yeah,
water on them. There's like,
yeah.
they're the most dangerous
It's a
waves you can
gamble.
surf.
It's a
They're,
gamble. I mean, I don't even surf Riley's, mate. Like, I was in, you know what I mean? Like, I love that place. I love that wave, and I've probably snapped 50, 100 boards down there. Do you know what I mean? Like, the other day I was looking at an old hard drive, and I was like, wow, there's like, I'm cooped so many waves. It was like 50 wipeouts, and then there's like 50 makes on these 3 6 foot little nugs. And I'm like, but what do you gain out of it? You gain like this little 4 foot pit in the spit, but you can break your neck on every single
yes,
wipeout every
fully.
single time. And my mates do down there sometimes break their neck, their back,
Fuck.
pelvises, toes, legs, arms, shoulders are going out. Not very often because it's so flat and it's different than Tahiti, or it's not got those coral heads and it's not as vicious. But and I'm not trying to compare the two because you're paddling chopes when it's fucking 10 to 12, and that's a monster. There's only one chopes that I've seen. Um, yeah, it's a beast, but it's a mini version, like you say, or it's a slab in general. Like if I was living in WA, I'd probably get excited to go and surf the box. We used to surf the box and put seasons in living in Margie's for winters, and we had Land Cruisers out there in Perth. We used to leave and we'd fly in, get on the Land Cruisers, go up and down, and we loved it, man. And but I was so scared and nervous before the box days, and uh, you know, but if I was living there, I'd probably paddle out and then we'd be rolling the dice. And it's like, it's not worth it these days. I've got to really be conscious of, or is it worth it? We've got to pick our battles on those particular spots in those conditions and moving forward. Yeah, nothing's forced, mate. You know what I mean? Nothing's forced. It's just going to be like, you know, yeah, why are you doing it? And like, yeah, well, and just are you feeling it truly? Like, does it feel right, or is it just, yeah, what's it all about? Because of course, I've never not gone back. That's the thing, And so Tahiti not going back, that'll be the left. That would be left. No other one's been left like that. Do you know what I mean? We always go back and we just enjoy the place, and we just take off on a couple. I never went back to Tahiti thinking, oh, I want that one that bloody Emio got. No, thank you. No, no, no. These dudes, they're doing their thing. That's their element, man. They're pushing the level. It's incredible. Same as Matai and all the lads. And there's other ones there that I'm just like, what are you doing? It's amazing. It's phenomenal. But I'm not trying to like, yeah. I never contemplated that even to begin with. My very first time going there, let alone when I my first accident and the second accident. It wasn't part of my deal. We're just going there to try and get that vision and that ride and just look at the mountains on a pretty barrel. Like there's nowhere like Tahiti. So um, can I resist not going back to experience that again? I don't know, but it won't be a light-hearted decision. I'm not going to let my yeah, be driven for the wrong reasons. Hopefully, I'm just gonna give it some time, give it a bit of time, mate. We don't want to rush that one because that was, two accidents. I mean, yeah, what's that about? You'd probably be going back there. Oof, gotta really think about that.
Yeah, nah.
Front side,
I don't envy your
cartwheel.
situation, mate. It's a really hard decision. Like it's a place that you love, and it's one of the best places on earth. With, you know, that wave at that size, when it's in that kind of 4 to let's say maybe 8 foot range, it's the fucking best slab on earth. It's
Oh, it
so
is.
perfect. It's ridiculous,
Yeah,
but it's so shallow, and that's where all the injuries seem to happen is on those days.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I actually thought the thing I was worried about most was dislocating my shoulder because I've actually dislocated it there before.
Mm.
Um, So my original first biggest injury in surfing was a dislocated shoulder at Aileen's, towing into a wave late. Ferg was like, "You're a bit late. Do you want to go it?" Like, and I'm like, "Yeah." And then I'm going down the thing, and it's a 20 footer, and it doubles up, and all of that weight, all on me, straightened out because it just was too big for the reef, and it was horrendous. Like it just made all of my joints, my neck, my back. It felt like everything broke all at once, which it didn't. but that's how it felt. And then the shoulder was the one that went, hang on a minute, you're down here, especially this isn't right. And and at the time, that first dislocation, as anyone will tell you, when it stays out like that and you can't get it in for quite a few hours, and especially there when you're away from help, it was just one of them moments where it all was just a big trauma for me for sure, and a big shift in my life. So I'm like, oh shit, back to Cornwall through the winter rehabbing, and did the no, 8 months, and then I went to Chopes from Cornwall. Yeah, but then that first trip went good, and I'm like, yay, we're back, and it was a good momentum. And then went back the following season, and yeah, and it was an upcoming swell, same size as that other one. Next day was going to be big, or that afternoon was going to be growing swell, and it's a 5 foot, 4 foot wave, what I don't know what you want to call it. And yeah, I just was, like you say, it's sticky is the perfect kind of word for it, because it does just get hold of you, and then it's got you, and you're trying to get down it, but you are the lip, and just a bit late. And as I dropped down it, the shoulder went out as I cartwheeled over the falls and through the lagoon, and and then managed to sort of make that one though back over the reef before, didn't have to go all the way through the lagoon and swimming and stuff. So that was all right. And then had Laird Hamilton I was on the back with Laird, and he
No
was
way.
yanking my arm around trying to pull it back in. And fuck, he's a big lad, do you know what I mean? So he was fucking me up. And I'm just like, fuck off. And he looked at me like, oh. I'm like, yeah, I better be nice because he's a big lad. But I was just like, in the end, I'm like, thanks for trying to help, mate, because he was genuinely, but it wasn't happening. It wasn't going in. So yeah, I did that one in Tahiti again, and then went to the same hospital. So we've had three little stints in there, but that was minor. They just put it in when you're under. Um, they put me under to be able to put it back in because I just it wasn't having it. But that shoulder was the thing I was worried about most going back into it, actually, because just felt like, yeah, you're rolling the dice so many times and you're surfing those sorts of waves. They're the sort of ones front side as well that shoulder is vulnerable. Even though it's been 10 years since I had surgery, I've had two surgeries on it. Um, yeah, so I had one after that Tahiti one as well. So I'd had two surgeries on the
Wow.
shoulder.
So you had a
Um,
surgery in between. So you popped it at Eileen's, had a
so
surgery,
yeah,
went to Chopes, did it again, had another surgery.
yeah, yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and then I thought, geez, two surgery, and I thought that was going to be my Achilles heel, so so to speak, and that's going to be sort of where I end up, because it's just the shoulders is so vulnerable, and it's right there in it, and you're using all the time, and the more as you go into a session, you're it tightens, it starts to get tension, and you can feel it, and you go, oh, he's getting ready, and then ding, it can come out, and you're so conscious of it. And I mean, even now we take the little bands with us, we're doing the rotator cuff, warming up the shoulder joints and the muscles surrounding the joint, just to activate them even before a fun little surf, sometimes. And so it's something I'm very conscious of still. And so that's always been my worry. I didn't think, and obviously hitting the reef at Chope, she's just going to get scraped up. What we all have. And you look at Matai's back, and they're like tigers all over him. They're all paying dues, and
Mm.
they're just yeah, they've just got that's their spot, and that's their where they feel their comfort zone. You watch Billy out at Jaws, like, what's he up to, man? When that big thing comes around, that north thing, with a big bowl on it, he just turns into a different thing, and you just see him. Okay, here he goes. It's amazing to see that. And same with, like I said, all those local Maori boys on that, Albie's bowl, like, really in it, like, it's just mind blowing. But that's their comfort zone. So I like you say, my not comfort zone, but I'm more comfortable in Ireland because of the time spent and my connection with the place. So I'm going to be conscious of that, and if that's where yeah, sort of keep evolving and putting my energy into, I mean, if there's ever a message that that's working out, then yeah, maybe that's the path we do go down, and continue down, because why wouldn't we? I don't have to prove myself to anybody. I mean, you'd be a bit inconsiderate if you did go back to Tahiti in many ways. I'm thinking about this now. I've not even thought about it. So what you're getting is like raw content of me going, "What the fuck am I going to do?" But like, it's a bit like that. Yeah, I'm just sort of. unsure, but I have to respect my, family opinion and what I've put my wife through, and my kids too, because the energy I'm putting out, they're feeding on. They might not have been aware of quite what the heck's going on, but they feel that weight when I'm, you know, flatline with that concussion and stuff. I'm not nice to be around,
Mm.
Like I'm pretty. I tried my best. I tested all to say you're a great dad. They wouldn't know any different, and I'm thinking. Yeah, they do. I mean, what you're feeling, you feel. Kids know, like they just know things. They're so tuned in. Um, so I always felt guilty about that, and I still do to a certain extent. It's not very nice, but it's all worked out okay, right? We've got a house. Can't believe we've got a fucking house. Yay!
Exactly. Well, exactly, mate. It's like, at the end of the day, like d dads have to go out and make a living, and it can be in a fucking aluminium smelter or a coal furnace or like an asbestos mine, or it can be 30 footers at Jaws. But like, that's how you're putting food on the table and putting a roof over their head. And dads make sacrifices, and,
Mm.
works hard. Like, you wouldn't be getting paid to do what you do if you weren't pushing the boundaries. That
And
is
I'm
part of the
lucky.
deal.
Yeah, and I'm lucky too because I mean, when I'm home, like I say, and I'm very rarely going on missions. I'm all in, right? So that quality time is just gold, and it's just you know, yeah, it's amazing. I'm so lucky to be able to be really part of this really special time in their life, and in as a young family, it's like it's beautiful seeing it being part of that journey because it's like you say, people work hard, man, and my mates at home in England and like they're on the grind and the tradies or whatever they're doing, it's a hard grind and it's they get to miss out on a lot of stuff because you're gone most of the day and when you get back you're knackered. Like I've done that grind, so it's pretty at times monotonous and it's hard and it's not very inspiring and sometimes you miss out on the fun stuff with the kids and I'm lucky that when I'm around I'm here and I'm all in and we just get like I say we're working on the land earlier we had the digger in we did all this stuff in the morning and then just before I came on here with you I was down the beach just charging with the kids in the water and we've just had a fucking absolute ball. We've had the best day ever um so, I get to do that all again tomorrow, don't I? So, like, how lucky am I? And then you've got this, I've got to switch on this other thing when I start seeing the low pressure coming. Oh, fuck, here we go. And then you've got to, like, try and not let it sort of, get onto the girls, my family, and just try and contain it and process it and then make the right call. And that's the hard bit coming in, and luckily it doesn't happen very often. So yeah, happy
Mm-mm.
days, really.
Yeah, yeah. You're going to war with these black blobs to put food on the table and put a roof over your family's head. Like that's your job. And if I guess like that's a helpful kind of paradigm to see it through, right? It's like that's
The
why
thing
you're doing it.
is, but the
You're
thing
doing it
is,
because you love
brother,
it, but you're also doing
yeah,
it because it's your livelihood.
but when you say that, but honestly, mate, if we're just getting truth, it's not like, yeah, it's my job and all that, but like when we talk about like food on the table, roof over head, yeah, like we're getting some dollar in, right? Yeah, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like I've got flash cars and I'm like, I'm 42 now. We're only just getting a house, and it's not like most of the time, right? For like 15 odd years, I'm literally like, my dad gives a couple of grand. There's please, have you got anything? You know what I mean? Mum, have you got like 500 quid? I just get a flight, and Christensen, like Chris, like brother, can I get on the swell? Like, yeah, man, I got you. You know what I mean? Like, we're hustling along here. So I'm
Mm-mm-mm.
obviously, I'm super like grateful for the support I'm getting, and don't, I've lived my dream and more so. So I could not have done that without the sponsorship, and we traveled the world on my dream, But there was an era there where it wasn't like it is now. If I want to go on a swell, or if I wanted to think about visiting my family in England, for instance, I can't afford it, mate. Like, we can't get over there.
Mm.
So as a family, so yeah, like I'm it's pretty, as sport goes, like, not like think of it as a sport. It's way more deep than that, but it is, I guess, a form of a sport and a profession as such, because I'm a professional surfer. I
For
get paid
sure.
to surf. If In that respect, if we look at it like that, in that perspective, it's like, fuck, we're getting skunked pretty hard, in a lot of ways too, right? Because it's, we can't might be in the top, whatever it might be, of surfing, and but it doesn't always translate to, like, yeah, getting the flash stuff, right? Is what I'm
Mm.
getting at. It's a hard thing to talk about because I'm super grateful for the support I get, but at the same
Oh,
time, like, and you're just hoping this, like, watch sponsor or someone's just like, fuck, it's 20 grand, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not looking for like half a mil here, but I just little bump up, like, let's just try and, like, it'll be a few more swells that we can actually go on. Like, I have to be conscious of everything I'm doing, man, like, it's and this house thing's so fresh. This one was a like I say, my missus is a clinical psychologist. She's a professional, you know, in a different way, and you know it's amazing what she does. So yeah, she can make way more money than I can. She's just been an incredible mum, and working on the side when she can, and like putting that, her career as such, to the side so that I can pursue my dream and my goals, and, like, my thing. So it's a team effort, and obviously our families all chipped in too to be able to get the deposit down. Like, that's how it rolls, mate. Like, and none of our families, especially mine, have got any fucking
mm.
money. So thanks, mum and dad, for coming through.
Wow, amazing. Thanks,
So
mum and
it's,
dad.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I
I
can
don't
relate,
know.
man. I can relate, and
You know
I'm
what I mean?
100%. I think most people are in that situation that you're in. Most people are. There's
Yeah,
like,
especially
yeah,
now, huh?
fucking earth.
Feels like
Um,
everything's just through the roof, isn't it? Like,
yeah, yeah, 100%. And then, but then I'm also reminded of people like Billy Kemper, who's in a similar, career as you, and the way he approaches his career is that exactly what I said. It's a means to put
yeah,
food on the table for his family. That's why he
yeah,
goes so fucking hard. He's a
yeah,
maniac,
he
that
does.
guy. He's a
Yeah, he is.
maniac. The way he
Yeah, man.
trains and
Yeah,
looks after himself, and
yeah,
the levels to which he's able to surf fully blow my mind. Like watching him do his thing
yeah.
at Backdoor a couple of years ago was spellbinding.
Oh, definitely, man. He's an absolute, yeah, unit, and yeah, he goes for gold, man. He puts it all on the line, when it counts, and fair play. It's but and like, yeah, like a classic example of people that work hard is like Nick from Rupp, and like, Nathan Florence. Like, they stand out as two that obviously I'm friends with, so I'm going to mention them. But like, that I just go fair play as well, because they're working their asses off, and they have done for years, and they didn't start off as getting. They've earned that money by letting their surfing as well do it. So um, yeah, it's. I think too. I'm aware too of the direction that I feel okay with as well, and that's like I said, like, I really have found it sort of challenging over the years to negotiate the social media side of things and jumping on that thing, because it just felt like everything I wasn't, in a way. But when I did it, it was just posting the pictures, and I was just bang one up every other day because that's what everyone's doing, or every day we're just I didn't really understand what I was up to. And it's like, oh, and then it's like, okay, now there's a clip thing, and I'm trying to figure it out, and sort of do the bare minimum, to be honest. But at the same time, yeah, do something that I feel okay with. And it's a challenge because I don't really feel that it's genuinely like where I feel it coming from. Like, I would like to, like I said before, the projects and the films and the covers, that feels more like, oh man, we're building up, and wow, like, so proud of this. And it comes right out of you, like, in the right way. And you kind of feel like it meets the feeling surrounded all of it, and it's like it stands there and it stays there, and even if people didn't buzz on it, it doesn't really matter because you're proud of it. So that's like your little piece that stays. Uh, yeah, it's an edit or whatever, but so yeah, I mean, I'm aware though that I to make more money, you have to feed the beast and do it in that way, and there's formulas to do it, and maybe yeah, maybe there's a way of like finding that balance to milk your career more if you're not going to be going psycho all the time. I don't know. We've got to figure something out. But so maybe there's a happy medium of, but I don't feel comfortable doing too much like that. Like this is already like I feel like I'm just like just have my knob out in front of the whole world right now, and everyone's just seeing how small it is. I'm just like, shit. Tonight I'll be like, oh, fuck, everyone's just seeing my little knob. Nah, I'm joking. It's huge. Nah, nah, but really, I just feel like I'm just going to be like overanalyzing everything I've said to you, and I'm just going to be going, oh, I shouldn't have done that. And, oh,
Nah.
did I say that? And
Oh, it's truth,
because
mate.
it's
It
not
is what it
me.
is. And if there is one antithesis to what, you and Mickey represent, it's fucking Instagram and social media. Like it's the complete other end of the spectrum in terms of storytelling and pure content, for lack of a better word. But one thing that is heartening is that, mate, like you're reconnecting with Mickey. You guys have got a project coming out. You're reconnecting with Mullaghmore. You're kind of coming full circle. You're going back to the roots of what made you guys such a special feature within the world of surfing. And
Oh, me and Mick
maybe
are
that's the
always
answer.
Me and Mick are always through, mate. Don't worry about that. And Fergie, you know what I mean? Like we're checking in. Like I get a ride or if something significant happens in my life, like first person I calls Mick, you know what I mean? So it's like mum, dad, Mick and thing, so it's my sister. Like yeah, so we're a unit, mate. He's out there with me, trust me. Like that's the thing. Like there's some serious, yeah, like connection there. Yeah.
Oh, mate, well, freaking, let's see that connection represented in more freaking films and shit. Far out. It's all like I just wish that guy was pumping out
Oh, I
endless
want him to
films
come
because
with me. Yeah.
they're so good.
He nearly came out to Ireland when I was there. Like I was just like, and the last year too. Like I'm nearly get. Yeah, he wants to like just come on a trip, like you know what I mean, and just come surf and shoot. Be great to just cruise with him like that.
Oh, come on,
Yeah.
Vance, cough up. Let's go, Vance. Get that happening. Please. That would be amazing. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, mate, thanks so much for your time. I don't want to keep you from your family any longer. You've been so generous, brother. I love what you guys do and continue to do. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, man.
Thanks, mate. I've been sweating out this whole time. I've probably got the beetroot head too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. Oh my God, I'm so hot because I've just had to shut all the windows. It's summer here,
Oh, it
so
is hot there.
you're probably looking at me going like, "What's wrong with this dude?" I'm not, yeah, hyperventilating or something. Nothing wrong with me, everyone. I'm just hot. Right, brother.
Oh, thanks so much, mate.
All right.
Absolute icon, Lowe.
Thanks for
Cheers,
having me
brother.
on, and yeah, I appreciate good energy, man. All right.
Thank you, mate.
We'll
Appreciate you,
keep in
brother.
touch.
Take care. See you, mate.
Cheers, brother. Bye.
Bye.